I'm telling you, I'm gonna learn that riff, dude. I'm gonna learn it
every single week.
It's because I love it. It's not. It doesn't sound like it's a hard riff, and I think it's just electric guitar. And it sounds like they got a little distortion pedal or maybe a fuzz pedal in there. There's not even a lot going on there, but it sounds good.
Welcome back, everybody.
It's today. Today is
St. Patrick's Day.
It is St. Patrick's. Okay.
It is. I saw somebody, I think it was in the Discord or somewhere, asking if we were going to be drinking Irish whiskey. No, I like good whiskey. Sorry.
Oh, see, now I'm not going hard to the paint to the nice Irish folks like that. I'm trying not to piss off an entire country. I should have done it today. I honestly kind of forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day.
Some like red dress or something.
My kids kind of celebrated St. Patrick's Day the other day because it was the last day. Their spring break was weird, so they celebrated at school anyway. So my days are a little fucked up so I kind of forgot that it was St. Patrick's Day today. I would have went and got some red breast today because I hate to say it, but I don't like a lot of that. We've talked about this before. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Irish whiskeys that I've tried.
I picked some whiskeys out to drink tonight, and I think I might swap it for some scotch just to like.
It's closer. It's
salt in the wound.
Well, I mean, it's closer at least, right? Like Scotland, Ireland. I mean, they're over there in the same area.
They're practically the same country. You really want to piss somebody off? That's what you're saying.
Yeah. Scottish and Irish, though, I have to say, I love listening to Skyrish. I just totally blended two things. First stroke of the night.
That is the language spoken in Skyrim. Actually, it's not, but
that's a game, isn't it?
It is a game, yes.
Yeah. But no, both of their accents, I could listen to the Irish or Scottish people talk for hours. I just love them. I love their accents. Matter of fact, I watch a YouTube channel a lot. It's like Irish People Try channel. And it's just like these Irish dudes or younger Irish people trying all kinds of stuff. I just love their accents. I think it's great.
Thanks. Hey,
I unfortunately have one of the least pleasing accents that exist, which is
Florida man.
Right. I think the only accent worse than mine is like people from Minnesota, right? Like Minnesota.
That one's pretty bad. I would say that one's worse. Like that one, if you want to put it on like a scale, like if you compare a British accent to a Welsh accent, that's how I would put them. You know, you
don't like British. I love British accents too.
No, that's not what I'm saying. A Welsh accent compared to a British accent.
Gotcha. Yeah. And, not to offend anybody from Minnesota, like lots of people make fun of my accent or people from the South. People are always picking on people from the South for sounding stupid and whatever. So no offense to the good folks, but that is a unique accent. Don't you know? It's that whole thing.
What is in your pocket today? Because I'm excited to share mine. So I got to get right to this.
I actually went back to my TR. Let me flip it this way so I can wait there. TR3 operator.
ProTech operator.
Operator's gonna operate, bitch.
I might be flexing on you today.
You normally do. I just can't. Which one is that?
Shirogorov Neon Zero.
Yes, you and your super bouge knives.
I finally sharpened this thing, fixed it up. It has some steak left on it from dinner.
People don't understand the joy of using a good pocket knife as a steak knife.
It's so much better.
Please
throw the steak on a cutting board. Don't cut on your plate.
No, you definitely don't.
I just sharpened it, and I was like, I'm not putting this thing on some ceramic.
No, for sure. You want to use it on a cutting board, but it really does work fantastic. And then somebody was busting my balls about it because I also said that like I use my knife for all kinds of stuff, opening boxes, cleaning my nails, tightening fucking tripod heads. Like it's like a multi-purpose tool for me, right? And they're like, ooh, you clean your nails and you cut your steak. And I'm like, well, I fucking wipe it off first. I don't like dig dirt out of my nail and then stab it into a steak.
On this one, I was in a hurry. I wiped it with a paper towel and threw it in my pocket, and I did not get all the steak off.
Dude, that steak, you sent me a picture of the steak you had, I think, last night.
Yeah, I had leftovers today. I made 6 of them, so I had leftovers tonight.
You cooked that thing just right. That's how I like my steaks. It was perfect.
I've tried steaks a lot, and I've made okay steaks. I've never made an amazing steak until last night, and I'm sure Alex is tired of hearing me talk about it. But like, I was bragging about myself. Not that I really did much. I just actually looked up how to make it in a skillet. I've
Yeah, dude,
always
iron
tried on a
skillet.
grill.
No, dude, iron skillet's the way to go, bro.
Oh my
I switched
lord!
over. I switched over a couple years back to the iron skillet. I was always a grill guy. I swore by the grill, but man, then I watched the iron skillet with the fucking butter and the basil or thyme or whatever kind of fresh herb and stuff. A little bit of garlic, sear it off. Ooh, son, man, it's dangerous, bro. It's dangerous.
Yep. So just for the record, did some sirloins, medium high heat, 3 minutes on each side with
That
just
nice.
some olive oil, and
Get
then
that
I turned it down.
You know what works better than olive oil? Avocado oil.
Oh, I'm sure it does, but all I had was some olive
Well,
oil. So
it's got a higher burn point, so you can actually get the heat up a little more without burning the oil.
Yeah.
And you can really get a good sear on the steaks with it.
Well, then after 3 minutes per side, I turned it down to medium low, threw some butter in, and I have this seasoning that I found at Sam's Club called not iron. What am I talking about? Italian Chop House.
Italian Chop House.
It's just got a bunch of herbs in it. Dude, shit's good. Yeah, 1 minute per side with that. Threw it on a plate for 5-10 minutes.
Let it rest. That's the other thing a lot of people don't do, man. You gotta let the meat rest. You gotta let it rest. Because if you don't, that's all the juices out. You gotta let those juices absorb back into the meat. Give it like 10 minutes to rest, man. 10. I always set a timer because I'm like frothing at the mouth ready, and I will not wait the full 10 minutes. I don't actually set a timer.
Dude, that steak last night was orgasmic.
Dude,
orgasmic. Look at us. We're Bico bros, aren't we?
Hey.
But my wrist is green, and that's because I do actually love the Irish.
No. Well, I still don't understand why that. I've never heard of anybody complain about that.
I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. I looked it up right after I got it because obviously I put on my watch and I'm like, wow, my wrist is green. Now there is a little bit of a thing you can do. You can put like a fingernail polish clear coat.
Yeah. I was gonna say you could probably do that. That would make
I'm
sense.
sure it'll wear off pretty quickly. So,
but then it'll probably flake, and then it'll look all weird. And you have to put it back on, and that'll be like a maintenance thing that'll probably get annoying after a very short period of time.
Yeah, but I had to throw in the green watch for St. Patty's Day.
I'm surprised that it does that at all, to be honest.
Are you? We were talking about Benchmade earlier, and I was talking about like I would carry more Benchmade knives if they used something other than the Omega Spring or like swapped out the material for the Omega Spring because I corrode them.
Dude, and that's it's funny. I was talking to what's the guy's name who he doesn't work at Benchmade anymore, but he worked there for a while. He was our contact there. Troy? Was it Troy?
Yeah, Troy.
And me and him were talking about you one day about how you break the Omega Springs, and he's like, "Man, I've talked to Taylor. But I don't understand what he's doing." He's like, "We've never had
living, man. Just here living.
We've had nobody else do this except for Taylor. He's the only person. I mean,
I went through like 6 Omega Springs.
That's crazy to me, dude. That is crazy. I've never broke one, and I've carried my bug out probably more than you carried yours, and played with it. Fucking just, I'm always flipping that thing. Bug out's a very fun knife to fidget with, and I've never broke one.
I don't know. I knew something was off. I was missing something. It looked weird, and my light wasn't on.
Oh,
I knew something was off.
Yeah, it's nice to have that little warm light in the back to contrast the Casper.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
I like a warm light too, man. Warm light is a.
What's in the glass tonight?
I haven't got anything in the glass yet, but I tell you, I've got a couple things that I'm going to drink tonight. One, I got to talk about this, and hold on, let me get my warm up whiskey. I forgot to grab it before we got in here.
I am actually starting tonight with an old classic. Something I haven't had any of this in a good while. The old Woodford Reserve Double Oaked.
Every time I sit in that chair, sorry, didn't know you were talking. Double Oaked is a standard. I'm going to warm up with my. I haven't had this in a while, and it's one of my favorite Michter's. Have you ever had this Michter's here?
Jeremy. No, I have not had that Michter's. The only Michter's I've ever had are the like generic bourbon and rye.
Yeah, but this isn't like a hard to find Michter's. This isn't like, like one of the barrel proofs or anything like that.
Jeremy,
I know
all they have at my ABC is this and their standard bourbon.
Well,
That's it.
I will get you a bottle of this and send it up to you. Because that's not a super hard to find bottle. And it's one of their best one. It's a great warm-up whiskey. It's low proof. It's really sweet. It's easy to drink. But the one that I'm going to crack into next, the good BJs, good bourbon junkies did another barrel pick, and they sent me one of their barrel pick that they did.
Nice.
Now, I'm a little weird about drinking it because of what it says right here.
Okay, does that say 120 proof?
Nope, it says BJ's knob. So I feel weird about drinking the BJ's knob.
It looked like 120.
It is 120. It's 120 proof. 120 proof doesn't bother me. I drink, high proof whiskey all the time. But BJ's knob, and overseas in Britain, what a knob is. It's not like a doorknob. That's what they call a pecker. They call it a knob. So this is the Bourbon Junkies. knob.
So what you're trying to tell me is that you need to drink that while you smoke the Texas Lancero.
Pretty much. Yep. But their last barrel pick they sent me that they did the swordfish oil of the what the fuck is that? Sagamore rye was fucking delicious. They did a fantastic job. So I'm excited to try. And let me say this. And have you drank a lot of Knob Creek in your life, Taylor?
No, I've had maybe 2 bottles of Knob Creek ever.
Okay. Anybody in the chat, anybody that's listening, that's into whiskey, has experienced how shitty Knob Creek's wax is. They arguably have the worst. Yes. They have the worst wax in the game.
It's like fucking crumbles everywhere.
It crumbles. It gets fucking everywhere. It's a.
I actually opened the first bottle I bought. I cut the wax with a knife, pulled the cork, and got wax all in the fucking bourbon.
Yeah. Worst fucking wax in the game.
Awful.
Now, I don't know if they've changed it for all their bottles or if this is the new Barrel Select bottle or if all their bottles are going to this, but the bottle, I don't know if you can tell, has it's like waffly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's wavy. Yeah. It's not flat. So it looks really cool. It's got the embossed, see, it's embossed and stuff. Like they didn't have any of these features on the old bottle. So really cool labeling. I like the new bottles a lot. And the wax came off fucking flawless. I mean, one try, no crumbles, like any other bottle of whiskey. So I don't know if
they figured out wax after all this time.
I don't know if they changed it or if it's just on their Barrel Select stuff, on I don't know. But this was a Knob Creek wax experience like I've never had. It was fantastic. Sorry, I went on a little bit about that, but thank you again to Dan and Sean, the good bourbon junkies. If you guys have not checked them out, I'm sure most of you have, but definitely go check them out. They have a great YouTube channel. Thank them for sending that over to me.
I would say that Sean does, but Dan, it's really Sean, but Dan is just there. Just saying.
I love Dan. I love them both. They're both great guys, man.
The fact that I've only ever interacted with them when either we're live or they're live, that's literally our only interactions. And the fact that they immediately just go in on me makes me love them more.
Yeah, they're those kind of guys. They're our people, man. They
never met me before, never talked to me outside of one of us being live.
Right.
And they just immediately started talking shit. And I love it. Absolutely love it.
And the cigar I'm smoking right now, I'm going to be a complete Alec Bradley sellout tonight, but I'm finishing up an Alec Bradley. I forgot what that one was called.
He's going to be in town next week.
The Coil. I think that's how you say that. Coil. That's the one that I just finished, or I'm finishing up now. The Coil. I think fucking face detect.
One day you'll learn how cameras autofocus.
Coil. And the one that I'm going to be smoking with the whiskey tonight, though, is one of my favorites from them. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Wow. Blind Faith. Blind Faith is one of their best ones, man. It's a great cigar.
If I could be smoking a cigar tonight, I would definitely 100% be smoking that last LCA drop. The
Dude,
Buenaventura. Oh my Lord.
dude, I didn't.
So good.
I have to get up with my boy Brian. I have not. I've been behind on my videos and stuff, and I have not done the last couple drops.
Have you
And
at least tried the last couple drops?
no, because normally
Okay, so Cigabun,
if
I
I'm
didn't
gonna
care for Cigabun.
if I'm gonna do a video with them, they send them to me, right?
Right.
But I've been behind and I haven't done so. No, I haven't.
Cigabun was I've already told you guys I didn't care for that one. The one before that was what was that?
The one I
Can't
don't know how far back it goes. I remember the both of the Paul Stulacs. They had the Cookie Monster was one. They had the Paul
Death Bucket
Stulac,
2.
Death Bucket 2, the Paul Stulac cigars. Shit, I can't remember all of them.
I can't either. I wish because I really liked the one before. Oh, Thai tea. Thai tea was very good. And then
No, I didn't have that one either.
yeah,
See, I think I've missed 3.
Yeah, Thai tea was very good. Cigabun, okay. The Buenaventura, dude, they didn't push it. They didn't. I don't even think they posted about it on Instagram. And I think maybe it's because they got burned so hard with that Cigabun controversy, whatever happened there.
Yeah, dude, I talked to him about that, and that was a weird deal, man. Like,
yeah, but they
I don't want to get into it because I don't know
Yeah.
how much of that he wants, but it was a really strange situation, and I was like,
Right.
really? I'm like, well, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but I was so surprised that they didn't push the Buenaventura. Ooh, somebody just got pulled over right outside my office. Oh, can I tell you about something? I don't think I told you this.
You got bad boys. What you gonna do going on out there?
Yeah, so couple days ago, I'm sitting here. I know I told you about this one. I'm sitting right here where I'm at right now, shooting a video, and somebody knocks on my door. And the owner of the building had just been outside running an angle grinder. So I like pop the door open, I'm like, yeah, what's up? And then there's a dude standing there, and he's like, I watch your videos, and I found out where your office is. And I'm like,
oh yeah, you told me about that. I was like, oh,
okay, yeah, got it. Thanks for watching the videos, but I got to get back to work. Thanks. It was very odd. Don't please look. I appreciate every single person that watches all my videos and everything. Just don't show up uninvited. It puts me in a really weird spot, and it's just.
Well, it's one of those weird things that like somebody like Casey Neistat or somebody that's huge and they have a very, obvious place, right?
Mhm.
Like middle of New York City. Every video he's showing himself going in and out of the building. It's pretty easy to nail that down, right?
I showed a little bit of the lower parking lot. I didn't show the neighboring building. I just showed the parking lot. So
right. So that's a little weirder, I feel like,
Yeah. But what happened the day after that, I'm driving over the railroad tracks, turn into this place, and I see a cop like off in the distance when I'm turning in, and then I turn into the parking lot here, and I back my Land Rover into where I normally park, and I see the cop go down the side road, and then I see him turn around and come right back by and whip it into the parking lot and jump out of his car and walk up to my Land Rover, and I'm just like, oh fuck, like oh shit, and I like open the door and start to get out, and he's like, love your channel, dude. I saw the Land Rover and I recognized it, and I just wanted to say hey. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, you can't do that. Like, you're a cop rolling up on me, like all hot and ready to go. Like, Jesus, dude.
That for some reason is
way cooler. It's way cooler because one, that's the person I would call about another person knocking on my door uninvited. Like it's a very different situation.
Well, and at least I will say this: at least you do have an office, right? Yeah. Like you have an office. If somebody showed up to my house, because I shoot for my house, we'd be having a problem. Like, and again, like you said, I love everybody. Like I am extremely grateful for everybody that watches all my stuff, but do not ever show up to my house unannounced. That will not go well for you.
Yeah, it is definitely less creepy for somebody to show up at a public space like this. It's still private, but it's not my house. But at the same time, like, still a little weird.
Yeah.
But
Chad says you talking about no, Chad. I invited you. I know you, you knuckle nut.
However, if I show up at Jeremy's house,
people, it's different from people you know. Obviously, no. His family is from this area, right? So, he was coming down to visit family, and he was like, "Hey, man, are you free?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I'm free. Come on, man!" And like, come on over. So they came by and hung out for a little while. Hopefully, he'll come down and visit family once all this Corona stuff dies down, and we can visit again. I got to get Chad smoking cigars.
Yeah, I've talked to him a little bit about that, I think. But
he's a whiskey man. He's a whiskey man. He's a whiskey
man. But yeah, regarding the cop, like that was just really cool. And then, casually as we're talking, he mentioned getting shot on the job, and he told me that he was shot at a Sonic near us, a few miles away at a mall. There's a Sonic by a mall, and the girl who's shooting and editing for me now, her name is Megan. She texted me back when I had COVID in December. And I remember waking up one morning and seeing a text from her. She said, "You guys are not going to believe what just happened to me. I just witnessed a police shooting.
Oh my God."
Pulled up into a Sonic, and they started shooting like right in front of me, and I bolted out of that place. And this is the cop that got shot while she was sitting right there in the Sonic parking lot, and his partner died, which is a very, very sad story. That cop had been a cop. He had only been on the force for like a month and a half. This guy had been a cop for 9 months and got shot.
Oh my God, dude.
Point blank. They were just trying to figure out, like, dude wrecked his car. And they were just like, "Hey, dude, you okay?" And just went off on him. Yeah.
See, dude,
crazy stuff.
I was almost a cop. Like, have you heard that whole story? I'll have to tell that on the podcast sometime.
Yeah, talk about it.
One night when we're not. Oh, by the way, we have to mention grooming because somebody said that they bet we wouldn't get to it for at least 30 minutes. So we have to mention it at least so they can lose the bet because they were being a smart ass.
I think they're saying that we won't actually talk about it, which, eventually we'll get there. Maybe. Actually, no. Earlier this week, Monday, I text Jeremy and I'm like, "Hey, what's the topic?" I don't hear a word back. Nothing. Nothing.
You got to admit that was a great list of ideas I sent you though.
So yesterday I text him in the morning. I'm like, "Hey, podcasting tomorrow. Maybe we should come up with a topic." Nothing.
I'm actually going to pull it up.
I start cooking dinner and I text him again. I'm like, "Hey, topics," and he just starts fire hosing ideas.
I think these were all great ideas. I'm going to read them out. I think all of them would have agreed with any of these ideas, and they're great. I don't know why you poo-pooed these. We could have had a great podcast tonight. It would have been fantastic. How far back does it go? Oh, no way. I think I passed it.
We then had a discussion about how there are no topics on the podcast. The topic is just for the title of the video. The podcast is actually me trying to get to the topic and fighting Jeremy. It's a cat and mouse game that I will always lose.
It's true.
That's the podcast. That's the fight, right?
So here are my ideas, guys. I think these were all excellent ideas. How to wax your taint, bleaching your butthole 101, how to get skid marks out of your underwear. And then he didn't respond. So I said, "Why aren't you responding? These are all fucking gold." The correct technique for giving a hot Carl. The definitive guide to buying assless chaps. I thought that was a fantastic one that would have worked well.
Aren't all chaps assless?
How to get a hamster out of your ass. I mean, come on. These were all fantastic topics. These are need to know things that the people need to know, Taylor.
Jeremy, I have never once in my life needed to get a hamster out of my ass.
Well, then you haven't been living, my friend. You haven't been living.
Oh, man. Anyway, that's my explanation of why we never get to the topic, because that's what the podcast is about. We have a topic, but we never get there. Like last week, I had a plan in my head for what we would actually talk about when talking about trucks. We never even got close to what I wanted to talk about. We have to do another truck episode eventually. One day that Jeremy's sick, I'll just hop on here and talk about trucks.
I'm also laughing at the comments because people are saying all winners, and somebody says, "I'm not even Googling hot Carl." Not doing it. You shouldn't. You should not. Now, what the fuck?
I actually don't even know what a hot Carl is. So
yeah, Google it. It's on Urban Dictionary, I'm sure.
You just told me not to. All right, should we Urban Dictionary it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Why not?
What
are we doing?
Yeah, I mean it's not a good thing.
Nope, it's really not. We're gonna leave that one to the imagination.
Yeah, Hot Carl, Cleveland Steamer. All these things are good.
That one's probably a little more descriptive. Just saying.
Hot Carl.
No, the Cleveland Steamer.
Cleveland Steamer. Yeah, those are both pretty descriptive. But yeah. I mean, you definitely have a full-time job on your hands, wrangling me into keeping me on task.
Just trying to get a topic out of you, trying to get some photos for the thumbnails, trying to get you to turn on your noise gate. Lord. One day I'm going to make you edit the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, if you want it to get out, see, the thing is, I'm not great in Audition. Like, I don't use Audition a ton like you do. So I'm not near as like efficient in it as you are. And especially now that you have all the presets set up, like it literally takes you like 10 minutes to edit the podcast. It would take me
until you start messing with your settings. And
yeah, well, that will not happen anymore because I have officially labeled channel 1 as the official channel for the podcast, and any other shit will be through channels 2 through 4.
Same.
The reason I didn't realize I thought the noise gate would actually make it harder to edit. Stroke number 3. Oh, by the way, like. Somebody made a fucking smart ass comment last week about me saying like too much that it made their ears bleed. So there goes your eardrums. Fuck nuts. Like.
Jeremy uses the word like just like a Gen Z girl does.
I don't even hear my fucking self say it. When I read that comment, I'm like, do I really say like that much?
Well, now you're going to hear it and then you're going to stop saying it as much.
Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know. I don't feel like I do, but I suppose it's possible.
Okay. So speaking of, that was a horrible, nope, not even, we're just going to hard cut. Grooming. I just had a Jeremy stroke. What the fuck is going on?
No good segue from a Hot Carl to grooming. Okay, let's just.
No, I was gonna make a very bad segue, so we're just gonna move on. Just moving on.
I keep seeing people who are apparently looking up Hot Carl in the fucking in the comments. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I'm so terrified!" Disgusting. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I was gonna mention something about Gen Z girl and then the word grooming, and I'm like, nope. We're gonna steer clear of that. Different direction. Probably. Synapses were like, we got this, and then I started. No.
You're like, nope. Not today.
Run away.
Not today.
Run away.
Not today.
I am not the master of segues like my old podcast co-host.
Yeah, the reason I mentioned grooming is because.
And can I say that I hate the word grooming now because it has like a secondary meaning, which is not good.
Which secondary meaning are you talking about right now?
Like grooming a child.
Oh, yeah. Well, no.
Right.
Yeah.
So like that's where I'm avoiding that segue.
Yeah. Well, the reason because I touch on.
Can we say hygiene? Let's say hygiene.
Hygiene, whatever. The reason I touch on it occasionally on my channel because of beard care or, skin care, whatever. Just because I think it's a thing that a lot of guys either neglect or there's a negative connotation around it. I think with a lot of guys that like, like in some of the videos I've done with like beard grooming, they're like, oh, real men don't groom and wash their beard. I just like use fucking castor oil motor oil in it once a month. And that's all a man needs. And I'm like, well, I mean, okay, if you want to be
to be fair, that would probably be better than not doing anything.
To be fair, you're right. But I mean, it's like, I don't know why some people think that having good hygiene is not manly. I think that's an interesting stigma that some people have. And
I know exactly why it is.
Why?
It's an excuse to be lazy. You can be like, it's not manly to care about your hygiene. So now I can just be, a disgusting fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm manly, but that's not really how it is. What it really amounts to is you're just a disgusting fuck.
You're just a lazy, stinky bitch.
Yeah.
Well, and here's the other thing, and we're going to go deep on some personal shit here. So whatever, but you know, trimming up downstairs, I've heard people say, "Oh, real guys don't do that. That's for, you know," and I'm like, well, here's the deal. And I've said this on videos before. You can say what you want to say, but you want to make that area as inviting as possible. If you look like a 70s afro down there and you smell like fucking barn, no, no, no girl is gonna.
I thought you were gonna go like Dick Cheese or, you know, a lot of different directions. I did not expect barnyard.
It goes past that. You know, it can get funky, especially if you got a lot of hair down there. You get must. No girl is going to come within fucking 30 miles of that area. And that's not what you want. Right. So how is keeping yourself groomed and maintained, smelling fresh and nice to attract more ladies, not a masculine endeavor? That doesn't make any fucking sense. And the people that say that are fucking dumb.
I think I just summed it up pretty easily, right? I think it's just an excuse to be a little bit lazy about it. And you can say that this is what real men do and women should like real men, but that's not the reality.
Right. Well, right. And it's funny. When I do these videos on my channel, we've talked about this. 99% of people are positive, but you have the 1% of people that are douchebags. But it's funny that I have alternative comments, right? I either have people saying, how are you going to talk about hygiene with that big, nasty fucking beard that you have? Or they say, you primp too much like a damn woman. And I'm like, okay, which one is it? Do I primp too much or is it a nasty beard? Like, let's fucking pick a lane and go with it.
Okay. So back in the day when I was in the metal band and the hardcore band and all that, that was like excessive because guys were in the scene guys would like straighten their hair and style it, and they'd spend hours working on their hair just to go to a show.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was the guy that fucking buzzed his head, threw on a shirt, and went and got on stage.
Well, and that's
washed my balls first, but yeah.
Dude, by the way, have you ever used ball powder?
No.
You should try it. It'll change your life. Especially with the fact that you have obviously a high pH in your sweat because of you, because the fact that you rust out fucking knives constantly. No, man, I forgot how I got turned on to it, but there's a bunch of companies that make it now. But dude, it's a game changer. It's a game changer, especially if you live in a hot, humid area like we do. You get out of the shower, pop those things with a little fucking ball powder, and I don't mean just baby powder. I mean like they make specific powders for balls. I think that one company makes one. I've never used that one.
That one company?
The Dollar Shave Club. They have like a whole line of men's grooming stuff. I think they have one called like ball powder or something like that. Chassis is the one that I've used, and it has a cooling effect, and it's very nice. Keeps you dry.
Just put some what is that shit? That foot powder. Just put some of that in there. That'll have some cooling effects.
Some tough actin to Nactin. Put some fucking athlete's foot spray on your nuts.
There you go.
You're like, why is it fucking tingling? Oh God, what's going on?
Kind of unrelated. When I learned that I had scoliosis, I also learned about the amazing medical discovery. I don't know. That's not the invention that is. Why am I blanking? The shit you roll on, this cooling.
Like icy hot?
No.
Oh, fuck! I know what you're talking about. Oh God, what's the name of that shit?
I just completely like brain shut down.
Dude, I just had fourth stroke of the night.
And we're only 30 minutes in.
Somebody in the comments will probably say it. It's
I use this stuff like every day now.
Freeze. Biofreeze. I was it's Biofreeze.
Dude, that stuff is amazing.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Biofreeze is good. Biofreeze is good.
I wish I had some right now. My back, you guys probably see me like twitching over here and stretching and stuff. My back is jacked up right now. I wish I had some Biofreeze.
He warned me before the podcast. He's like, you're probably gonna see me making a lot of these.
Yeah, I got a pillow behind my back to like put forward pressure on it, so it's hurting tonight. I don't know why. I mean, I do. I have scoliosis, but I don't know why it's flaring up right now.
Biofreeze is good, and there's another one that I forgot. It's a newer one that's actually got like anti-inflammatories in it. It's almost like liquid Advil. I forgot what it's called. I got a bottle of it downstairs. My mom had given it to me because I had hurt my back or something, and she had.
I gotta click on this.
She had gotten. Okay,
you guys just shared a stroke.
Let's just say that saying we shared a stroke could be taken two ways.
Oh, that's true. Oh, damn. Well, either way, it's true.
Oh shit. But anyway, my mom had given me it when I hurt my back one time. She had tried it. She's like, "You should try this stuff. It's really good," and it worked really well. It's like I said, it's almost like a liquid lotion Advil. It's actually an anti-inflammatory. Where most of those biofreezes and stuff are more topical, like at surface level. This actually gets down into your muscle and helps with inflammation. Anyway,
chat saying there's a front on the way. There is a serious front headed to both of us right now.
Front?
It's gonna, like storm front. You not aware of this?
I mean, I knew that we were supposed to get some rain and the temperature was going to drop, but it didn't.
Yeah, they're telling us to prepare for tornadoes and shit. So,
oh, fuck, it's that time of year, man. This is the time of year that you start getting all that squirrely, weird weather. But it's not as bad as hurricane season.
Well, that's very likely why my back is on the fritz right now.
Hurricane season is ass. I hate hurricane season. It's one of the main reasons why I want to get a different house in another state. So during hurricane season, I can leave my ass out of the state of Florida and go somewhere else for a few months until the hurricane stops. I fucking hate them. Hate them. But anyway, so grooming, right? So ball powder. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not suggesting you should spend an hour primping every morning, right? I'm just suggesting keep everything tidy, keep yourself fresh, take a fucking shower, brush your teeth. If you have a beard, take care of it so you don't look like a fucking homeless person.
Yeah. See, if I go like a week and a half without trimming and just touching up around here, I start to look like ragged and haggard and stuff. Like I probably need to cut my hair. It's, getting kind of the same thing, but my beard, if I don't like stay on top of it, it starts to look horrible. And you know what? Just speaking of the beard, what Alex was saying the other day, one, she said that you look far more like put together than me. She's so nice. She was saying that you looked more groomed and stuff. And she was like, it's probably because his beard, it actually grows up on his face and stuff. Dude, your beard, I'm looking at it right now. Your beard comes down just as far as mine. I think it's just kind of covered up by how big your mustache is.
That, and I cut it down to there. My beard comes up to here.
Yeah, see?
I have to shave this right here because if I let it come up all the way, I look like fucking Teen Wolf.
I think part of the problem is that my beard is so curly and it's not long enough to you can tie yours up. Mine is just, it looks like pubes.
Well, and it also starts right below my lip and grows out. I don't have the patch that a lot of people have right here. So it's like, it starts right below my lip and comes out. It comes up to here. And then my mustache is quite large these days. I used to keep that stuff trimmed down. So it looks like a lot of hair, but it's not really that much.
Yeah. Mine won't grow really much higher than this. And nothing grows in these little spots.
Yeah. I have one.
And my mustache won't grow for shit.
I kept mine, I used to be a firm short mustache guy. I used to keep my mustache shorter, even with my long beard, because they are problematic. Long mustaches are a pain in the ass. Like you eat, food gets in them, you drink, stuff gets in them. Like
if I let it grow, I end up chewing it off.
Yeah. I mean, it's always in the way. So for a long time I kept it short, but then with how long my beard was, I started looking at pictures of me. You ever not notice how you look until you see a picture of you or you watch a video of yourself and you're like, one day something just clicks and you're like, I don't know if I like that. One day, all of a sudden I realized I looked Amish. I looked Amish. I'm like, what the fuck the beard is way too long for that short of a mustache. Like it was uneven. There was no balance. Right. So that's when I started growing my mustache out just to balance things out. But I will say it was way easier when I kept it shorter.
Yeah. I don't cut this area, but right here drives me fucking crazy. But it doesn't grow that long. I let it go for like 2 months and it didn't get any more full. I still have the old reverse Hitler,
No, dude, mine will grow completely over my mouth. So it looks like a fucking Muppet. All you would see is just hair moving. You wouldn't even see a mouth. Like it's
so what we see now, right?
even worse. Like you can at least see my bottom lip. Like if I let it grow, it would easily grow down because I sweep it to the side when I brush it in the morning. I usually hit it with a blow dryer too.
You eat stuff, do you come in from like the top angle and lift?
Well, my buddy Jason Dagner, who I haven't talked to Jason in a long time, but anyway, he was he had a very long beard even before I grew my beard out, and he always kept a real long mustache. And there are some tricks to the trade, right? If you have a long, one, cut all your food up into 1-inch strips, right? Like eating a hamburger, just like that, it's not going to happen. You got to at least cut that hamburger in half so that you can fit it in here. Because if you try to take a bite of a whole hamburger, you're eating your fucking mustache. There's shit everywhere. It's a complete disaster. So you have to cut stuff up into strips to be able to fit it in the little bit of a hole you have to get through here without hair getting in the way. Straws are your best friend. Anytime you can
drink your whiskey through a straw.
No, because whiskey, I don't mind if it gets a little in the mustache, but like a coffee, I usually almost always drink it out of a Yeti with a lid because it, pushes the mustache out of the way and it keeps my mustache out of the actual stuff. My Yeti with water, I always have a straw in it. There are some tricks to the trade to dealing with a big mustache.
Or you could be like me and you just can't grow one, so it doesn't matter.
Or you can just cut it off.
Yeah.
But hey.
My beard is starting to actually get some girth to it.
Dude, you got to grow it out, bro.
I haven't. This is a year and a half. I was doing the math because I cut it when Eleanor was probably about 4 months, and she's almost 2 years old now. She'll be 2 years in the beginning of May. And I cut it when she was 4 months old because she reached up in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah.
And like grabbed like 2 hairs and just yanked. And I was mad. I was like, I woke up the next morning, it was gone.
Oh, dude, by the way, your best friend's in chat.
Yeah, I saw him. I'm ignoring him.
Dan, my buddy Dan. I talked about your release, buddy. I'm gonna have a little bit of this here in just a few, Dan. I'm excited about it, buddy.
I can't wait to break into my bottle too.
Which bottle? Did you put one away? You had Woodford, and which one did you?
That was you missed the joke.
Which one did you have? Oh, because
I don't have a Knob Creek
because you didn't.
Yeah. You think I can let Dan off the hook without giving him shit? Hell no.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You got to get, like he's laughing. You got to give him a little bit of shit. It's okay. Yeah. I'm going to,
you know what? I'm going to break out a bourbon that's even better.
Okay. Well, I don't know that you have one that's even better.
I know I do for a fact. Prairie bourbon from High West.
See, now you're just trying to instigate a fight. That's all you're trying to. Them's fighting words, son. Them's fighting words. I'm actually saving. I wanted to warm up, like I said earlier, because it's 120 proof, and I'm also saving because Dan said that it is an excellent cigar bourbon. So I am saving, cracking into this blind faith. I'm going to have it with a blind faith and see.
You know what? Since Dan's here, I'm just gonna go get some Prairie bourbon.
That's hurtful. Dan, he's he's like, I knew it. He said 100%. Oh, you can't hear me.
Oh, I can hear you.
He said 100% knew he'd say that. Oh, that's too good. That is too good.
This is for you, Dan. Soak it in. Not just anybody would do this for you.
Soak it in, buddy. Soak it in. I'm trying to think of any other, since we're grooming, to talking about beard grooming, since we're talking about grooming, do you have a beard oil that you like?
Yeah, we're going to sound like shills right now, but Beardbrand.
Dude, I will fully own, people say shill, and I think the definition of a shill is that you have monetary involvement with the company, right? Like,
well, it's the term shill really, I think, is meant to be used for someone who has no morals, will take money to say good things about just about anything.
Right. And see, and we've had this conversation many times about how my outlook on how I deal with sponsors and companies that I work with. And that's normally, I only work with the companies that I already use their products. Right.
I think Dan might have been right about this shit. It's not good.
See, now that you've had, oh, here we go.
It's a frame of reference thing, right? I haven't had this since I opened the bottle.
See, now Dan's picking a fight with me.
But he's right. So Dan, you and I are back on the same side.
Taylor is right about 100%. No, he's not right. Me and Dan had a full argument about seltzers the other day. Seltzers are fucking bullshit. Okay. Here's the thing. Seltzers are fucking alcoholics and underage women that are trying to drink. Okay. That's what seltzers are for. Because here's my argument on the seltzers.
Can you stay on topic for 5 seconds?
Okay. Sorry. You're right. Let me finish what I was saying.
It worked, guys. It worked. Holy
right.
Shit.
So, and that's a whole thing. We're going to go back to the fucking seltzers for sure. But you're right. We need to stay on topic for at least 5 more minutes. At 9 o'clock, we'll go off topic. But yeah, so I'm weird about the way I deal with companies that I work with. I only work with companies that I usually have already used their products before they reach out to me, blah, 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 just to avoid there being any of that shillness. But, I've used Beardbrand for years, and a lot of people give them a little bit of gruff because they are one of the more expensive ones out there. I mean, Beardbrand shit is not cheap. I ain't gonna sit here and try to play that they're the most fucking budget friendly beard oil you can buy. But I will say their packaging is top notch. The ingredients they use are fantastic, and they have some of my favorite scents that of any beard oil I've had, which is why I use their stuff. Old Money is fucking joy in a bottle.
Old Money's good.
You like Temple Smoke more, right?
All I got from Old Money, or like for the Old Money, was the soap. So I didn't get a really good feel. For
the soap isn't super fragrant, right?
But I got Temple Smoke beard oil from them. Really good. I still use it today. In fact, I think I put it on this morning. But even before I ever worked with Beardbrand, I was using their white product line. I didn't know that there was a difference between the white labels and the gold labels. White label you can get at Target. It's like $13 for a tub of beard oil. And I love that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's got like a cedar smell to it.
Isn't it like timber or
so I can't remember, but I don't
ever use the white line. I've always used the gold line.
That's actually my favorite beard oil is the white label because it smells like cedar. I fucking love cedar.
See, I don't like the foresty smelling stuff. I like Old Money because it reminds me of like leather. And like, it reminds me of like the way an old cigar room smells, like with like some whiskey and leather. And I mean, right. That's the notes that are supposed to be in it. That's what's called Old Money, right? It's supposed to smell like it. And, it's just fucking glorious. I love it. I used to like 3 Vices too, or was it 3 Vices or 4 Vices? 4 Vices. I think they had, but I think they stopped making that one. I think they did stop making 4 Vices.
I don't know. There was a big thing about when I did my ad that
they had stopped using it or something.
Yeah, and then they did a full video on 4 Vices like a week later.
Temple's, they're all the gold line shit smells fantastic. You can't go wrong with any of it. My personal favorite has been and always will be Old Money. I just really like the way that smells. But using a good beard oil is crucial. And also like a balm, right? I don't know if you use do you use their beard balm?
I use the balm, not the oil.
See, I use both. Because the oil does a really good job at getting down at your skin, right? And like you can really work it in there and get it at the roots and stuff and help keep your skin nice and conditioned and, so you don't get dry, itchy, flaky beard. You ever see some people, they scratch their beard and it fucking snows.
I don't have that issue.
If you use some good beard oil, that usually goes away. But then I like the beard balm because it coats the hair a little bit and helps with flyaways, right? It doesn't have like a high hold. It's not like a heavy wax kind of product, but it has just enough that it kind of helps with the loose hairs.
See, you probably don't have this issue because what do you do with your sunglasses? If you're out and about, you go inside a store, what do you do with your sunglasses?
I either put them on my head or the back of my neck.
Yeah. See, I like to hang them on my shirt.
Because it gets fucking oil from my beard all over my sunglasses. It's a fucking nightmare.
The worst. Now I do have sunglasses that are magnetic, so I can't do it in the winter because I have long sleeves on. But in the summer, when I have short sleeves, I have sunglasses that are magnetic and they just stick to my sleeve, and that's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. The sunglasses, I usually put them just up on the brim of my hat, normally up here.
I will 100% of the time forget they're there every time, and then I'm like, fuck, I lost my sunglasses. Dude, panic mode every single time. So I stopped.
I've for sure done that or done something for getting there up there that was a little bit too of a jerky motion and flung them off my head and they've gone flying. Somebody said beard oil and beard balm is far too much grooming. It's not. If you got to
really, really not. So for me in particular,
if the minute and a half it takes you to put two things on your beard is too much grooming, then I don't know how to help you, son. Like
I only do beard balm, and I used to do it like every other day. Now I do it every single morning. I can't. So if I'm straight out of the shower, I can just run a comb straight through my beard, no problems. But if I like say the next day, if I don't shower or I shower at night and I'll wake up and I can't comb through my beard. Like as soon as my beard dries, you cannot run a comb through it.
Well, you got a curly beard like me, man. So that shit's like, and
as soon as it dries, you cannot get a comb through it.
You got to get a boar bristle brush, man. Works really well when your beard starts getting longer.
Well, what I've learned is that if I start to work the balm in it when I wake up, I can slowly work a comb through it, and it looks 10 times better if I put some balm in it and comb it. If I don't, it looks matted and weird and like it gets misshapen and it just looks fucking weird if I don't balm it every morning.
Now, the gentleman that said, and I don't remember who said it, or I would use his name. Sorry that I'm just saying the gentleman, but anyway, that said that he, sorry, my son was about to come in here. Podcast, buddy. Okay. That said that he thought beard oil and beard balm was too much is really going to shit his pants. He's going to need the how to remove skid marks from your pants topic we were going to talk about. When I say this, because I also use mustache wax and a blow dryer. So now here's the thing with all that, it takes me less than 5 minutes. It's not like a huge, it's not like I spend 30 minutes in the fucking mirror with all this stuff. It's like, I've got it down to like a 5-minute thing. I jump out of the shower. Right. I put some beard oil in my hand, rub that through, get it down on my skin and stuff. I let that chill for a minute while I put some deodorant on and fucking all the other shit, lotion on the elbows so you don't look ashy and shit and all those things. After that soaked in for a minute or so, I put the beard balm on, and then I blow dry it for it takes about a minute and a half to blow dry it. And it's done under 5 minutes. And it goes from my beard being like this and my cheeks puffing out like this far to being a bit more Gandalfish, laying down, a little smoother, a little easier to deal with.
Father time.
Embracing the full Father Time, ZZ Top, Gandalf, Dumbledore. I've heard all of them.
I will be right back because I have to grab something that I should have grabbed before we started. But
grab away.
I have to show you something.
Do it. But yeah, I mean, it takes me like less than 5 minutes and then everything's good. The beard's in good shape. The beard's healthy. The beard smells good. So the wife doesn't, not want to be near me. And it looks somewhat presentable. Some people still say it looks like crap, but I think it looks fairly presentable for as much hair as I have grown out of my face. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, somebody just made a comment. That's the same amount of time for a shave. Yeah. It probably takes me the same or less than it does for somebody who shaves every day. I stopped shaving. Well, mainly I wanted to grow a beard, but I also used to have a big problem with ingrown hairs when I shaved. And that's one of my favorite things about having a beard is not dealing with ingrown hairs because man, my neck used to get, especially my neck for some reason, I guess because my hair grows in like 15 different directions on my neck. I would always get razor bumps and ingrown hairs on my neck, something horrible.
Same.
And that's one of my favorite things about having a beard is that I don't get that.
I haven't clean shaven in, 15 years.
I haven't since I was in the police academy.
And it's because of that. Like my face would break out, like not pimply. It would get like razor burn and rashy and like it looked fucking gross.
It's brutal. Shaving's brutal, man.
So
not to mention there's the old saying of if hair wasn't intended to be in your face, it wouldn't grow out of it, man. Let the hair grow, bud.
You use that logic and you are also advocating for hair in other places. So
I'm not saying you should shave your pubes off and look like you're 10. I'm just saying the same thing as I trim my mustache and I trim the beard up and I cut the ends off to keep it looking groomed and maintained. I'm just saying, keep that area maintained too, man.
So this is shifting gears a little bit, but this is absolutely one of my favorite things that I've discovered since I started my YouTube channel.
Oh no, I know what you're gonna say. This is fully in the grooming category. This isn't shifting gears that bad.
Well, it's shifting gears from beards.
Yeah, it's all good.
Bar none, this shit right here is some of the best
hustle
shit. Musk and Hustle.
Musk and Hustle, that's what it is.
And this is specifically number 24. I love Musk and Hustle and what they do, but the number 24 is a grand slam. It's so good. Like, you smell it.
Is that the one that you said was supposed to taste like, smell like Creed or whatever that one really expensive?
Ventus Creed, yeah.
Ventus Creed.
This is their take on it. And some people don't like that because they're like, isn't that just knocking it off? No, it's a take on something. It's like if you were to cover a song, right? It's more like that than like making a knockoff knife, in my opinion, because they don't know how a Ventus Creed is made. So they have to sit here and craft something to smell similar. It's not the exact same. It's their take. And it is different than taking apart something, 3D scanning everything and making the exact same thing and selling it for a tenth of the price. It's a very different thing. It is very cheap compared to a Ventus Creed, which is like a $200 or $300 cologne, like 8-ounce bottle. I think this is 4 ounces. This is 4 ounces.
That doesn't look like 4 ounces.
Not 4 ounces.
It looks like that looks like an ounce. You got to think ounces like a shot glass.
Yeah. It's not 4 ounces.
4 ounces.
These are their little samplers. I cannot remember what size these are. They have little samplers, so you can get a sample kit.
I'm going to say I never heard of that Ventus Creed till you mentioned it one day, and I went and looked that stuff up. Holy fucking shit, that stuff's expensive.
It is, and it's not easy to find.
Dude, it's like, for like a 1 ounce bottle of that shit, it's like $200 or $300. Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's not very big, and it's very expensive. This right here is $20. And they say it'll last a month. Is it? But one of these usually lasts me several months, like 2, 3, 4 months.
Is it thin like cologne, or is it like oily?
It's not oily. It just rolls on, and it's more. I mean, it is kind of like a hint of that oily.
But I mean, is it like thicker than cologne, or is it super watery like cologne? Does it have alcohol and stuff in it?
It's very watery.
Very watery.
Very, very light, oily feel to it, but it's watery.
Because you know that
even after it's on my hand, you can see that I've got some. You can still see it on my index finger.
Yeah,
but it goes away very quickly.
Well, because you've
got like a pine scent and citrus.
Usually citrus and pine type stuff has a nice fresh kind of smell to it.
It's very, very fresh and clean smelling. Like, I wouldn't mind if my household cleaner also smelled like this.
Not to mark out again for Beardbrand, but they started making all their stuff in like a cologne type stuff also. So you can go full old money, beard oil, beard balm, mustache wax, fucking deodorant, cologne, shampoo, body bar. Like, you can fucking old money it out and just use everything. And that's pretty much what I do these days, is I just use everything old money from Beardbrand, just old moneyed out, because I love that shit. I will sometimes use a little bit of Acqua di Gio makes a black one, and I can't think of what it's called. It's not, what Acqua di Gio is, right? I think everybody smelled Acqua di Gio cologne.
I haven't. So the notes on this number 24 really quickly are pineapple, birch, and musk.
Pineapple, that is the weirdest. Like, that seems like it would smell really good, but I don't think I've ever heard of pineapple, birch, and musk. Anything with musk in it, I like.
Oh my God, it just smells so good. I could smell it all day. Like, okay, so when I first heard about Musk and Hustle, it was through John Smith, or 875 FPS over on Instagram, Brassworks. And he used it, and he introduced me to it, and I don't even know what happened. It just showed up in my PO box one day, and they sent 2 samplers and 1 bottle of number 24. And I opened this, smelled it. I'm like, holy shit, that's all I ever need to smell. I don't know that I've ever used any of these, and there are 12 in each container.
Because hit that so one.
Many scents. I've opened them up and smelled them, but I don't think I ever put any of the other ones on. I think I might have, like, once or twice. This is, to me, this is overwhelming. This is overwhelming.
Yeah, that's
24 cents. Like, that's a lot to go through. But this right here, I almost ran out. So what happened is I got it. I mentioned it in the video, and they sold out. And then Peter was asking me for Cologne recommendation. I recommended number 24 from Musk and Hustle. He bought it, posted about it, and they sold out
again.
Hardcore.
Yeah, like they sold out in 2 minutes.
Yeah. And I was about to run out, and it wasn't back yet. And I'm like, what am I going to do? And lo and behold, I go and check my PO one day, and they said, we know you love this stuff so much. Here you go. And there was another bottle. And then this Christmas, that was, I think, like last Christmas or something. This Christmas, they sent me a refill for these. So I have 2 number 24 rollers that are full. You know, this is how much I love this stuff. Look at this.
And that's another interesting topic, right?
Like is liquid gold right here.
That's the stuff. That's another interesting topic, is that like some guys don't like to wear cologne. And I get that, but here's the thing: you don't have to wear cologne to be well groomed, right? No. As long as you're showered up and you're fresh and you got on deodorant and you're clean, you're not going to smell bad, right? I like to use some form of cologne a lot of time. Like I said, I use the Old Money from Beardbrand. I'll use that black bottle. It's Aqua di Gio, but it's a black bottle. I think somebody said in the chat what it's called, but
or somebody said that my discount code still works for Musk and Hustle.
Oh, nice.
So that's 25% off. Nice. So you can get this for $15 actually. So that's cool. But they also have these little leather sleeves for them, which is a really cool addition.
I'll tell you another thing that I love, and it's super cheap and it's super old school, and you might call me a boomer for liking this stuff, but it's what's it called? It's the stuff they use in the barber that's in the green. It's shit. What's it called? I have a bottle of it downstairs.
Brute?
No, not Brute. It's got
Jeremy
like
uses Brute.
Clubman. You ever seen? It's called like Panade or something like that. Clubman. It's like use the green bottle powder they use at a barber to put on you. You know what I'm talking about? They also make an aftershave. Dude, the stuff's been around for like fucking 150 years. I mean, seriously, it's been around forever. Like I think my grandfather probably used this shit. And it's cheap. It's just like cheap.
Hey, boomer.
It's just cheap aftershave, man. I think you can get it on Amazon for like $10 a bottle. They make a powder that you can use for after, you know, you get haircuts. They make an aftershave. They make a hair tonic. That tells you how old this shit's been around. Hair tonic. Like, what the fuck is even hair tonic? But man, the shit smells great. Like, it smells good. And a lot of times I'll slap that on if I'm just going to be around the house and I'm not going out anywhere, just because it smells good. I don't know. I like it.
Jeremy wears Brute, and you can smell him 3 doors down.
I don't wear Brute. Dude, Clubman is it's a weird smell. Like, it smells kind of fresh, like baby powder, but at the same time, it's got some kind of muskiness to it. Like, I don't know how to explain the smell of it, but it smells fucking awesome. And
all I know is that I just want this like mounted right here. And you smell it all the time.
Somebody said in the chat earlier that you were about to fucking have a Taylor-gasm in your pants.
I'm gonna put a little bit on my.
Just put a little on the mustache, and then you can, you know, just smell it for the rest.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've had things in my life that I like the smell of, but I've never really gravitated towards something quite as much as this. Like, they nailed it.
Here's the problem, though. When you wear something like that all the time, have you gone nose stroke number 5? Have you gone nose blind? Okay. Because you know how you go nose blind to shit and then like you can't smell it anymore? And that's
I have other colognes. I have Polo Blue and stuff at home that like I'll just rotate so it's not always the same smell.
That's when you end up smelling like a French whore, right? Because you can't smell it anymore. So you just keep piling it on, and it doesn't take that much cologne, by the way. It's just like a couple small sprays, right?
Yeah.
If you
depending on what it is,
maybe like one and like walk through the shit
from a distance.
Yeah, like spray.
I know a person who you can smell them before you see them, and after they're gone, it lingers. It's not a bad smell; it's just overwhelming. Like,
well, and that's what happens when you wear something all the time and you go nose blind to it because you don't smell it anymore. So you just fucking slather it on, and then everybody else around you is like, Oh my God, it's so strong. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would rather somebody have a very strong, good smell than smell like an old fucking foot. But, still the appropriate amount of smell.
I like to have some sort of cologne on every day, and I don't go overboard with it. It's just like just a little spritz,
just a little bit.
Yeah, and it gives me peace of mind in knowing that I at least don't smell like shit.
Right.
Like I know I don't because I bathe all the time and I groom myself.
Right.
I wash my face and scrub my armpits and whatnot. But
here's an interesting. This is an interesting topic. I'm going to pour some of this Bourbon Junkies whiskey though, because I'm cranking out the old blind faith. Let's see.
Yeah, you wish it was as good as this shit though.
Ooh, let's see. Did we send you any of the Glens like this?
Mm-hmm.
We sent you some Glens too?
I have a Glen.
Okay.
It's not the face, it's the leaf and barrel.
I think we were out of the face ones. I can send you something when we get back in. This is an interesting topic, and I forgot. Was it Chad? I forgot. I feel like it was Chad or somebody like that we were talking about this. And I would be interested to hear your take and see what the people in chat say about this. Some people apparently think that you don't have to wash your feet. That when you're taking a shower, you soap up and just the soap running down your legs and over your feet in the water is enough to clean your feet. They don't actually wash their feet. I
put soap in a loofah and I squeeze it over my head, and that's how I shower. I had you go in there for at least a second.
I was listening. I'm like, okay, let's hear what this fucker's technique is. I thought he had some fucking next level shit he was about to go into. He's talking about loofahs. He's exfoliating. He's taking grooming to a new level, ladies and gentlemen. But
I grabbed my pumice stone.
Right. But no, man, like I was a little appalled to know that people don't fucking wash their feet. Also, they don't wash their ass. They think that the water that runs down their ass crack is enough to clean their ass. Like you wash it all, man. You wash the whole thing. Everything on your body needs a little scrubbing. Just water running over it is not sufficiently washing it. Let's just fucking be clear. Would you disagree?
No, scrub every inch, all of it.
Does it not disturb you that some people don't wash stuff?
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, shit, I was sitting at a coffee shop a few months ago. I say a few months ago, pre-pandemic. And I was no closer, mind you, than probably 10 feet from a guy. And he smelled like literal shit. Like he smelled.
I don't know why that's so funny to me.
He smelled like he shat in his hand and just smeared it. Like, bro.
Ah, man.
I don't know. Maybe he sharted and didn't realize.
Yeah, I was about to say maybe it was a shart, bro. Could have been a shart.
But bro, I was a good 10 feet from that guy.
Could have been a shart. Have you ever sharted?
I've never sharted.
Dude, I did.
Tell you what, though, my son, that's all he does. We call him Shartin' Martin.
I did one time, and it was disturbing. It never happened to me, so I thought that I could trust it. And one time, I don't know what had happened, but it was not good. My day was ruined. I had to throw the underwear out. I had to fucking shower. It was a mess. I was like, this is fucking a disaster. I mean,
sorry, I felt the need to start going through these in the middle of the podcast. I'm sniffing all of them. Sorry.
But yeah, I forgot who it was that we were talking to about that. And they were appalled also.
Yeah,
people didn't wash.
I'm not surprised, but yeah, it's gross. Like, clean yourself.
Dude, did you ever watch this? Talking about the shart. Did you ever watch, what was the show called with Rob Dyrdek and the guy Big?
Robin Big.
Was the show called Robin Big, or was it like called something else?
Yes.
Was it called
Robin Big?
Do you remember Robin Big talking about the man pond?
What was that show with Rob and Big?
Do you remember
Robin Big? Jeremy?
Do you remember Big talking about the man pond?
No, I do not.
Oh my God, dude. Big was hilarious. Big was a very large gentleman.
Didn't he pass away?
I hope not, dude. He was awesome. I loved that. He passed away. Oh, dude, that's fucking horrible.
I don't know. Maybe let me clarify before I spread.
That's horrible if he did, man, because I always liked that guy. But anyway, he was a big fella. Okay, so I would imagine he ate a lot of food that potentially gave him bubble guts, and I think he had a little bit more sharts than.
Yeah, he died in 2017.
Ah, man, I fucking hate that. Really?
Yeah.
Damn. I liked that guy. He seemed like a good dude. I mean, I didn't know him. You know, he's on TV. Maybe he was an asshole. I don't know, but he seemed like a good dude. And he was funny.
He seemed like a big old teddy bear.
He seemed like a big old teddy bear, and he always made me laugh, and he just cracked me up. I thought he had a good personality. But anyway, he called it the man pond, right? Obviously a take on the tampon. He,
you don't
to avoid the shart, he would roll toilet paper up into a cylindrical thing and then stick it in his ass crack. He wouldn't actually put it in the butthole, but he would just wedge it in his ass crack so that if he had a shart, the toilet paper would get caught by the man pond and it wouldn't cause a problem.
I do recall that.
Dude, it's so funny. It's a shame that the inventor of the man pond is no longer with us, dude. That's horrible. He was a young guy. I guess it was his weight probably got him. Sure. He probably had like a heart attack or something, maybe. I mean, I hate to assume that, but I mean, he was a very big fella.
My Lord, dude. I've been through all 12 of these, and not one of them smells anything less than amazing. I'm not shilling for Musk and Hustle. Like, I have a coupon code. I don't get shit for it.
Right.
It's not an affiliate. It's just a coupon. And, dude, every single one in this, like, they're not all the ones that I would pick myself, but every single one of these smells really good. Sorry.
I'm trying to think of what I'm
back to it. And that's only one of the samplers.
I'm trying to figure out what I'm smelling with this Bourbon Junkies pick here.
Well, I'm smelling all of the things now because I just put 12 colognes on my hand.
Not the time to try to smell whiskey, by the way. Don't try to give me any notes on any of your whiskey now that you've fucking got Musk and Hustle.
Chad, just keep watching Taylor huffing. You damn
dude, he is. He's over there like fucking. What was Dave Chappelle's character? The fucking over there like fucking itching and shit. You know,
white all over his face.
Yeah, looked like he just ate a fucking powdered donut.
This room smells great now, or at least my nose, the insides of it.
Yeah. Somebody said he had a heart attack. That's a shame, man. That sucks. I can't put this doesn't smell like any. I was about to say, this doesn't smell like any knob I've ever smelled.
Go around smelling knobs, do you?
Anybody from England's going to appreciate that. It doesn't smell like Knob Creek, though, to me. I can't put my
Amtrak was moving.
This is 120 proof, so we'll see if this shit's gonna knock my teeth out.
That is some high octane stuff.
Ooh. Oh man. That's really good. That was not what I was expecting at all, though. It is a little hot. I wouldn't say it drinks hotter than 120. I'd say it drinks about like a 120. That was the first sip, though. They usually get a little smoother after the first one.
Well, everybody,
I'm trying to figure out what I'm tasting there, though. It's kind of throwing me back because it doesn't. I have kind of in my head what Knob Creek generally tastes like, and I mean, given different bottles of Knob Creek vary depending on the year and the whatever, but there's generally kind of a vibe with Knob Creek, and that does not remind me of Knob Creek at all.
Well, all I ask of you guys that are watching and listening, you guys need to go to Dan from the Bourbon Junkies and let him know that this is truly an amazing bourbon, the High West American Prairie Bourbon. Tell him it's the best thing you've ever had in your life, and that if you could have only one whiskey until the end of time, it would be the American Prairie Bourbon from High West. That's all I'm asking. Please do that for me. Thank you.
It's really good. It's very interesting. I'm having a hard time getting my head around it though, because it's unique. It's a lot different.
Does it taste like a brisk summer walk?
No, it's not like that. There's like, I want to say there's like a darkness in there that I'm trying to put my finger on. I don't know if it's like a raisin flavor that I got hit with.
Spring morning.
It almost, strangely enough, and Dan's probably going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't think he's in here anymore. But it almost kind of reminded me. Calvin's from England. He's from over there. So he totally gets it. He's like, how the hell do you know what a knob smells like? I'm just saying, Calvin, you missed the beginning of this podcast. Maybe we were talking about some weird shit.
He was talking about knob slobbing. Just saying.
I want to say it. There was a hint of it there for a second that reminded me of a Texas whiskey. And I know, like I said, I don't think Dan's in here, but he's probably going to, if he sees this, he's going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jeremy? But Texas whiskey has a distinct, like, dark kind of funk to it that, like, it's hard to put your finger on, but it's like the Texas funk, a lot of people. And for a second, it hit me with that.
I still have yet to try a Texas whiskey because, you're supposed to have the bourbon drinkies on and you're supposed to send out samples of Texas whiskeys. And then, 6 months later, here we are.
We both had some shit fall apart. It's coming. Yeah. There is like a darkness in there. It's almost like it's nice. It's got some sweetness. It's like a raisin. It's like a raisin note that I'm getting, or maybe like somebody had said prune, right? And like a prune kind of flavor, like a prune or raisin, like a dark sweetness, like a dark kind of fruit sweetness. I'm not getting nuttiness, which is weird. I normally get nuttiness in Knob Creek and I'm not getting it yet. I'm going to keep drinking. Sometimes it pops up, but it's really good.
You said there was some darkness to it, and the only thing that came to my mind was asking you if you believe in a thing called love. I don't know why. I felt the urge to say it like 8 times, and I had to hold it out.
Man, it's really good though. It drinks like 120 though. It's got some ass on it.
Somebody asked if we have Walmart has a liquor store. No. North Carolina, you have to buy from designated ABC stores. So all they sell is liquor. So you have to go to a store that specifically has liquor. That's it. And you would think that would make for a really good selection, but it doesn't, because they stock what people drink. And what most people drink around here is cheap bourbon, vodka, all, Tito's and not Tito's. What is it? Starts with a B, Burnett's, like the cheap stuff. Like that's what most people, obviously there are some people that have better taste, but most of the ABC stores around here just stock like the standard stuff. And I don't know that it's actually like that. I don't know if it's more of like less of a demand thing and more of an availability thing. I think there's a certain rhyme and rhythm to, or not rhyme and rhythm, but at least some sort of reason to the distribution and who gets what. But yeah, for me, unfortunately, I'm in an area which doesn't get gifted any good bottles. Not gifted, but you know what I mean.
I think I know what it is. I think it's a little bit of like a raisin or a prune. I think there's a little bit of like a darker chocolate kind of thing and like a sweet tobacco flavor in there. I think that's what's in there that I'm tasting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Old Forester 1910, a little bit. Old Fine Whiskey kind of reminds me a little bit of that. And Dan had told me it goes really well with a cigar. America. And I think I know why he said, because usually the whiskeys that I found that have those darker kind of flavors, like your raisin, your prune notes, your chocolates, your coffees, your stuff like that, leather, shit like that normally goes well with a cigar. And it does. It goes really good with this Blind Faith. It's a good cigar whiskey for sure. But that's what I think's in it, which is weird because that doesn't remind me of Knob Creek at all. It was really, it fucked me up for a second. I had a hard time with the flavors because I was expecting the things I normally get in Knob Creek and I didn't get any of that. But anyway, really good.
I just want to reiterate that I wish I could be smoking a cigar right now, but I can't, unfortunately. There's also another issue that I haven't talked about with you or even on the podcast.
What's that?
There's a company in this building that prints fabrics, and they store their fabrics right down the hall. And if I'm smoking a cigar and I don't have the ventilation just right,
oh yeah, you'll get all their fabrics stinking.
I'm gonna piss them people off, or those people off. So yeah, I can't just be like, let's try this. Otherwise, I would just open this door. There's a door 5 feet to the right of me, right out into the open, and I would open it and try to just vent out like I did before. I can't do that because if it goes this way and seeps under the door, I want to make some people mad. What is that? That looks a 1920.
Sorry.
Is that a 1920?
That's a 1910.
Oh, it is 10. I didn't know the 10 was also the same teal.
I bumped my light. See the new Stratocaster, by the way? I just got that the other day.
Very nice.
It's nice.
So 1910. I heard you talking about 1910. Do they have the same color on the bottle?
No. 1920 is like it's similar. 1920 is a lighter color than 1910.
Yeah, I gotta hear. It's like a baby blue. Okay, so that one's like teal and this one's baby blue.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I needed to get it. Sorry to jump up right in the middle of you talking, but it was driving me crazy. I've got to taste this against 1910 to see if I'm thinking what I'm thinking is right.
Calvin asked if I'm off cigars for a while. No, I just don't have ventilation in here. I wish I did. Otherwise, or if I did, I would be smoking. But no, not off cigars. Just don't have the ability to in this office right now.
19. Have you not had 1910?
No, I have.
Which? Oh, that's right. You have. You said you like 1920 more, though, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. I think they're both great, but
they are both.
My
great.
preference is the 1920.
Somebody asked
I didn't try them side by side though, and I think,
that Strat is not. Well, yes, it's blue and black. It's actually one that I think it's a fairly new one. It's called Dark Knight. So it's kind of like metallic blue around the outside, and then it fades to a black in the middle. So it's like a fade paint job. It's kind of metallic blue around the outside. It fades to black, and it's got a black pick guard. That is a Fender Professional 2 or Pro 2, I think is what they call that model of them. I was out looking at guitars the other day, and they had one in the shop, and I was like, "Oh, I've been looking for a new Fender Strat for a while." And I was like, "I've been on a little bit of a gear acquisition gear. I've had what's it called? Gas. I've had a little guitar gas lately. Gear acquisition syndrome with guitar. I got a new guitar, 2 new amps in like the last 2 weeks."
Jeremy, isn't that like your normal status with everything?
It is. Somebody said, "Do I have a Telecaster?" No, I do not have a Telecaster, although I would like to get one at some point. Maybe I'm fucked up. No, that's different. This is way darker than 1910. 1910 is way sweeter, but this 1910's also been opened up for a while. It's like half the bottle, where that Knob Creek is a neck pour, so it's going to be a little different. Now this actually is kind of reminded the nose in the flavor might be a little different. The nose of it is actually reminding me a little bit of Peerless bourbon. Oh man, that was a good one. The
cork was kind of loose, so I was expecting it to just go. But
that was a good one, man. That was a real good one.
I've not had a rye in a good minute. Actually, the last rye I had was Bullet Rye, and I wanted to try it long after you had told me that Bullet Rye is basically just eucalyptus. And it did. So I wanted to try it after the fact, and nope, you're right. It's just straight eucalyptus. I enjoy it still. I still like it, but yeah, it's definitely all I taste now. So this is the first rye I've had since you told me that on the podcast, which would have been pre-Thanksgiving. I don't know when it was exactly.
No, you know what? There's some similarities there. I think this kind of reminds me, if you mixed the nose, at least, if you mixed 1910 with Peerless bourbon, that's what the nose reminds me of. Let me taste this 1910 and see about the flavors. Now the 1910 is a lower proof, not by much though, right? Oh God, no. Wait, it's way lower. It's 93 to 120. So that's it tasted a lot, not near as hot.
1920 is the 115.
115.
Yeah.
I will stand by. There's some of the same notes in there. They're not as similar as I thought now that I'm A-Bing them. And that's kind of the thing. I know we're past 9 o'clock, so I can derail the grooming thing.
Oh, can you?
we'll go back to the grooming, and when we get to the comments, if anybody has any questions or anything, we can get to that toward the end. But, I will maintain that one of the best ways to find notes in whiskey is to A/B them.
And that's what I was saying. I didn't get to do that with 1910 and 1920. It wasn't my bottle.
Yeah.
And I would like to do that. So if I see 1910 again, I'll get some. But again, last time I found the Whiskey Row. Well, okay. So what's it, 1897 and 1887 or whatever those other two versions are, or different, whatever they are. Those are always on the shelf. The 1910 and 1920 are the ones that are harder to come by for me. 1920, last time I went in, they had a whole row of it. 1910, I've seen it once and didn't buy it because it was 1910 and 1920, and I just picked one.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the very first time I'd seen it. So, but I do need to go back out to that store in Albemarle, and what I need to do is try and get to know the owner. That's the trick. I know that I've sent him business because people told me about it, and then I talked about it again, and then people have DM'd me and they're like, I went out to that store and they had a lot of stuff. So I know I've sent business there. I need to get to know this guy.
There's some similarities, man. I'm going to say, even in the taste, it tastes like if you mixed 1910 with Peerless bourbon. That's what that Knob Creek tastes like to me. Taste is subjective. Somebody might say I'm full of shit. I'll be curious to see what Dan has to say, see if he thinks I'm at all accurate about that. But that's what it reminds me of. If you blended 19, because there are some similar 1910 notes in that, and there are definitely some of the darker notes that I get from Peerless bourbon in that. If you mix those two together, that's what that Junkies pick tastes like to me. Which, by the way, 1910 and Peerless bourbon are both whiskeys that I enjoy. So solid work, Dan and Sean. Solid work. I would expect no less.
It was all Sean. Wait, no. Dan's on my side. It was both of them. Just kidding.
It is a very good cigar whiskey also. Somebody asked what amp I bought. I got I went and got a AC-15 Fox AC-15, and I was going to be good with that. And then they had a used Fender Blues Deluxe. It's a 40-watt Fender Blues Deluxe. It's a tweed amp. They had it used like in mint condition for, I think it was right under $400, and brand new. That's like an $800 amp. So I was like, I can't not buy that. I didn't buy it the day that I bought the Vox because I was like, I'm not buying fucking 2 amps. I went home, and I got to thinking about it that night. I watched a couple reviews on the Blues Deluxe, and I was like, man, I'm never going to get one that price again in that good a condition. So
this is the Jeremy Sires way. He finds something, and then he goes watch his videos on YouTube about it that just totally affirms the decision to buy it. And then he goes and buys it. Like that's Jeremy.
I couldn't do it. So I told my wife, I'm like, I've talked myself. She's like, you do not need to get 2 amps in the same week. I'm like, look, it's a good, if it was full price, I wouldn't do it, but it's a great deal. And it's a great amp. I love tweed amps. So I went back and got it. So I spent way too much money on guitar shit last week, but
I can't say anything. I bought a project car last week. So
that's what I'm saying. So at least a couple, I guarantee you I didn't spend as much as you spent on a car, on a guitar, and a couple of amps.
Hey, you're probably right. And I've already bought suspension with it or for it, which was almost a fourth of the price of the car.
It's true. It's true.
I'm so upset. I wanted to put the suspension on it tomorrow, but we're obviously going to be having like tornadoes and stuff, and I don't actually have a shop yet. So,
man, I hope we don't get real fucking bad weather from that.
Chat said that you guys in Florida aren't going to get it as bad as coming up more north than anything. So,
oh well, good. I mean, not good. I hope you guys the best.
Good. I hope you guys get fucked. But no,
I hope you guys. I hope you guys. That's what I was confused about when you said about the front, because I heard there was going to be a temperature drop, like a pretty severe temperature drop, because it's been like almost 80 degrees here. It has been 80, I think, for the last couple of days. And then I heard Saturday it was going to be like 50.
Dude, it's been getting up into the upper 60s, and I think it hit 70 one day, and I was sweating, and I'm like, I'm not here for it. Please just give us like 9 more months of winter, please. And I'm just not ready for summer at all. I do not like summer. I'm also a little worried about this room I know we said that the taint fan was gone, but the day that it was 70 degrees, right around 3 or 4 p.m., the sun starts coming through this window, and it was a good 80 degrees in here.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
a freaking oven.
This room, the room I'm in the afternoon in the summer, I have to crank the AC because the sun, I get afternoon sun facing this room. And even with the blinds closed, like it heats up the fucking wall. And in Florida, it's just hot. And this room is like 10 degrees warmer than the room across the hall in the afternoon. So
yeah,
I'm
my
feeling,
other office is cool.
right.
I might have to move in there for the summer podcast.
Well, the bad thing is the thermostat is in that room also, right? So if I set it to like 72, it'll be a nice 72 in that room, and it's like fucking 82 in this room because the thermostat's in there. And
See,
it's like
I have individually controlled split units in both rooms. So this one's set to 64 right now, and I know for a fact it is not 64 degrees in this room right now.
dude, if I set my AC to 64, it would blow up because it would never turn off.
This one, there's no way that it's right. It turns on and turns off and turns on and turns off, and I can definitely feel it getting cooler, but it's not 64 in here.
Damn, Travis said it was 90 in Orlando today.
90. Fuck that.
Yeah, dude, it's a little fucking early, even for Florida, bro. It's a little early in the year to be hitting them 90s, bro. It's a little early for that. A little early for that shit. We don't need that.
We had daylight savings time change, and then the next day it was like 75, and we're like,
okay, can we touch on that for just a fucking hot minute? By the way, let's just for just a second.
I believe we're headed in that direction now. Yes.
Why the fuck do we do that? Why do we do the time change? What's with the fucking time change?
There's no good reason now.
Didn't they do it like 150 fucking years ago for farmers or some shit? Like,
I don't know. I've heard like 6 different reasons for it.
Right. I've heard a bunch of different weird shit. Point is, in today's age, there's no fucking point in it anymore. Can we stop, please? Can we stop? Because all week long, my sleep's been fucked up. I've been going to bed way too late. It's hard for me to wake up in the morning because I go to bed too late. It's dark. I was getting used to waking up in the daylight, and now it's fucking dark again, and it jacks up my whole rhythm. It takes me a month to get back into the swing. Can we just stop?
That's why I'm yawning right now.
Can we just stop? I don't care if we do this time or the other time, whatever. Can we just stick with fucking one and go with it, please? That would be fantastic. Please and thank you. Like, stop it. I don't know why we still do it. What's the point?
Who knows? I don't know. I'm gonna Google it.
And here's the other thing: not everybody does that shit. There are states in the United States that don't do it.
Oh, you know the worst part? There are states that do, but like Native American reservations that don't, or reservations that don't. So like you can drive through a state and the time will change like several times. Actually, speaking of, no, that's Chattanooga. That's on the time change. Never mind. But there are states where you can drive through the state and the time will change like 4 or 5 times.
Do other countries do it?
Yeah, but not at the same time. I remember when I worked for Pocket Now, my managing editor was in Romania, and their daylight savings didn't start until like a month or 2 after ours. So our time would change, his wouldn't, and we would all get fucked up.
Yeah, I don't. Calvin's probably, if he's still in here, he's in the UK. Yeah, Calvin just, he's saying, yeah, he's still in here. I wonder if they have done daylight savings time over there because he's in, over in the good old UK. Yeah, I just want to stop.
One day ago, North Dakota okays permanent daylight saving time.
Yeah, man. Why don't we just do that? Like I said, I don't give a. See, somebody just said they do it in Australia.
Okay, no Calvin more changing clocks. Washington Post says history says be careful what you wish for on daylight savings time.
Calvin says we have one time, but our clocks go back and forth twice a year. Yeah, twice a year. What do you mean, Calvin? I'm confused about that.
Back and forth twice a year. Spring forward, fall back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's the same way we do. Okay. Yeah. Why the fuck does everybody still do that? Like, stop it. It just doesn't make sense. So apparently some states are passing just permanent. I think it was on the ballot in Florida. They were going to do it. I don't remember if it passed or not, but I think it like came up for vote or something a year ago or some shit.
Yeah, hang on. I think it's Arizona.
I think it had something to do with farming. I'm sure somebody in chat's already been like, yes, you fucking idiots. It's because of this. I think it had
Maybe
something to do with,
Arizona doesn't do it. Hang on. There's one state where it's like,
no, there are some states that for sure do not do it.
yeah.
So how does that work? So is their time different than ours?
I don't
If
know.
they don't do it, that's going to make my head hurt. So if they don't do it, then are they on a different time than we are now? So is it like when it's 8 here, is it 7 there? Even if they're in the same time zone with another place,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So
and that's why I'm saying it can get really tricky, especially like when there's a state where you switch over from like central to mountain or whatever time zone you're in, and then they also have like different municipalities and different parts of the state that don't have daylight savings time. So you can drive through the state and the time changes all over the place.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
really bad.
it's really bad, which is why I think they should just nationally just do away with the shit. Just be done with it. It's not necessary anymore. Calvin had said farming. Somebody else had said some with farming, but also power conservation. Arizona, California time half the year, Colorado time the rest. Texas has 2 time zones. Yeah, there's Florida has 2 time zones. Florida has Eastern Standard and Central.
Yeah, I can't find it.
I'm reading some of the Indiana has. Yeah. I think we can all agree that there's no fucking point in it anymore, and it would be way easier if everybody just did away with it. I think that's the consensus to this whole conversation is it's stupid. We don't fucking need to do it anymore. It should be done away with. All it does is fuck everybody up, make everybody grumpy for a month because their sleep patterns are all jacked up. You ever done any and this is kind of nothing to do with it, but any research or any reading on circadian rhythms and eating with your circadian rhythm and all that weird shit?
Not eating with, but I have done. I attempted to do polyphasic sleep cycles before, which was.
Now, what's that?
Hang on one second. I'll show you this really quickly.
Polyphasic. Padina. Holy shit! What is?
So this is Arizona, and it's hard to read this, but part of the state, like Arizona, doesn't observe daylight savings, but this section does. This section doesn't.
Oh my god!
Like, yeah, dude, it can get really, really bad.
Oh my god! So like nobody knows what the fuck time it is. Like you leave your county, go to a different county, and it's a different time. Like how the fuck are you supposed to keep track of that?
I don't know. I bought a trailer from a guy in Chattanooga one time.
There's all the more reasons why we should buy a GMT watch so we can keep track of multiple time zones.
Oh, are you trying to justify that now to Allison?
Yeah, I need to justify it to Allison. I need a GMT. I need a Rolex GMT specifically.
But I bought a trailer from a guy who lived in Chattanooga, and he told me to be at his house at 3 p.m. So I left my house so that I would be there by 3 p.m. Didn't realize that he was Central Time. His house was in Central Time. So I drove there, and I'm there an hour early. Like, okay, I'll just wait, I guess. He gets home at 3, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you that I'm in Central Time." And I'm like, "Yeah, got it." He's like, "Sometimes I forget because I work in Eastern Time, but I live in Central Time."
Oh, see.
Like, oh my Lord.
No.
But it was such a weird thing, like driving to Chattanooga, spending some time in Central Time, and then driving back into Eastern Time. Like my whole day was like really fucked up because it was just like I thought that I was going to get home in time, but then after I traveled back into Eastern, I'm like, oh shit, I'm 6 hours from home, and it's an hour later. Like, there's no way I'm going to make it home before like 1 a.m. Like it was awful.
I've done that when I've drove places before and crossed time zones. And then Calvin was just saying that he's come to the United States a couple times, and it fucked with his body clock because he went to Vegas and I mean, God knows how many time zones that man went through going from UK to Las Vegas. Like, I've never traveled anywhere that was that many time zones away to really, I've jumped like a time zone or two, maybe. I don't think I've ever jumped more than 2 time zones, but I can imagine going from like UK to Vegas. Like, man, that's got to just fuck your entire world up. Because I mean,
I flew to Berlin. I didn't sleep. My flight was at 9 p.m. and I didn't sleep, and I landed there at like, I don't know what time it was. I lost a whole day basically.
yeah, I mean, that's time zones are weird if you really start thinking about it. Cause isn't there actually a way where you can leave a certain place and then get to your new place before you left? Isn't that possible?
Yeah, if you fly west, that's possible.
Right.
But it's got to be pretty quick. But like it always messed me up when I'd fly to Vegas for CES because our flight would leave at like 6 a.m. and it's like a 6-hour flight, and I would land. I'd be in the air for 6 hours, and I'd land at just like 9 a.m. And I'm like,
and you're like, what? Huh? What happened? What happened?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Time zones are weird, man. It's because, you know, we were never intended to travel those distances in that short period of time. Right. You know what I'm saying? But technology and modern travel has allowed us to do some shit that the human body was not intended to deal with.
What was way worse than flying 16 hours to Berlin was flying back. So we're against the headwind. It took longer, and you're going basically backwards in time or forwards in time. How is that?
Hey,
backwards. So I lost a day going there, basically.
And you gained it coming back.
I gained it coming back. And dude, I was so fucked up. Like, I landed, I'm like, wait, I've already lived this day. What is going on?
What's happening? Like, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, it's Thursday. Wait, it's back to Tuesday. What the fuck is happening right now? See, time travel is real.
It is.
Dude, is it true that toilets flush the other way on the other end?
Yes. Yes.
That's a real thing, huh?
Yes.
Huh.
That is the Coriolis effect, I believe.
Coriolis effect. Yeah, that's the name of it. So in Australia, their toilets flush counterclockwise. Patina.
Wait. Somebody wanted me to say it.
Patina.
The very distinct patina. Dude, I got the patina shirt coming.
Oh,
it's coming. Bunker Branding sent me the mock-ups today, and I'm getting some samples sent. The patina shirt. But I just side railed that. But yeah, that's really weird that the shit flushes the other way.
Yeah, there was a YouTube collaboration. I think it was between Smarter Every Day, which if you do not watch Destin on Smarter Every Day, what are you doing with your life? He is one of the most interesting guys. He's extremely smart. He's very entertaining.
Can we talk about how fucking smart that guy is? Like, he's so smart, it makes my head hurt. Because he starts talking about shit, and I'm like,
have you ever watched like Veritasium?
What? Yeah, same shit. Him or even I tell you another
your brain, Michael from what's the other
Vsauce. I got on a fucking Vsauce marathon, and I think for 3 days I watched nothing but Vsauce. I must have watched 10 hours of Vsauce in 3 days, and it's just such cool content, man. It's just
now
super smart guys.
They're very smart, but there is a guy that I found recently who absolutely melts my brain. It crushes it. It just like my brain, I start watching his videos, it just goes like I start and I'm like, and it's very much like Vsauce. Like you start watching a Vsauce video and you're like, yeah, I can keep up with this. I'm smart. Like I got this. Yeah. Yeah. And then the more he talks, you're like,
no,
mistakes I am very, very stupid.
Well, there's been a few guys on Joe Rogan's podcast that are like that. When they start talking about like quantum theory and quantum physics and all this shit and quirks and particles that appear and disappear and exist and don't exist and all kinds of weird shit and parallel dimensions. And you're like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like my brain, just like you said, it just implodes on itself. And I'm like, I can't do it.
So I'm going to show you just a little snippet. I don't want to share too much of this, but there is this guy. His YouTube channel is called Stuff Made Here, and
Made here.
yeah, and it's
don't be playing that shit. You'll get his fucking. Oh well, we don't monetize anyway.
Yeah, so he goes into like in-depth information, like basically in this video. This is his most recent video. He was talking about building a bot that would not allow you to ever miss a pull shot.
Oh,
or not a bot, a machine.
That thumbnail came up in my feed. I don't think I watched it, but I saw
You
that.
need to watch this video because like I follow him on like the robotic stuff and different things that he's going through, and I'm like, yeah. And then he starts talking about like stuff I don't even understand. Like I understand this parallax shift with the camera being off and different things like, but he starts talking about all this code to fix it, and oh my Lord, it is just, it gets so much more in depth than you could ever imagine. He has made a basketball goal that you can't miss with. Like he threw the basketball at the wall. You can throw it, the hoop's over here, and you can throw the ball over here. The hoop moves to it and just so you always make the shot.
That's crazy.
Like he is.
Let me ask you this:
so smart.
What hurts your brain more? People that get into like super technical stuff like that, or guys that get into the super high level, like theoretical quantum physics, theoretical stuff like that. That stuff hurts my brain more, even though that like super technical code and making machines and stuff is super impressive and it hurts my brain. It doesn't make me like have a like minor stroke the same way that like people that start talking about quantum physics and stuff does.
Yeah. So what this guy does, I don't know his name, but the Stuff Made Here guy, I'm more impressed than anything. Right? Like I wish I could do stuff like that. And I think if I applied myself and spent probably 10 years working at it, I could probably come to some level of comparison. Not as good, but I think I could eventually do it. Part of the struggle and the complexity of building and making is failing, doing it and failing it, and getting over those hurdles. Like, for example, this is a very basic, mundane example, but I've never changed out suspension on a vehicle. Right? Never done it. Kind of nervous about it, but I'm just going to start unbolting shit and bolt some new stuff in and see what happens. And if I fail, then okay, I screwed it up. Where did I go wrong? Fix it, get it right. Like that's the process of learning, right? You have to fail. And with that stuff, I think I could eventually figure it out. But he's talking about some stuff like he's not just making a robot, he's programming it, he's programming an application and making all of this stuff to work together. It is extremely impressive. And then Alex says, I definitely understand the quantum physics stuff more than the engineering programming stuff. Yeah, I can sort of wrap my head around some of the quantum physics stuff, but when it gets like super theoretical things like that's what is the
fucking particle that exists and doesn't exist shit. What the fuck is that about? Like, I don't even understand what you're talking about right
now. And quantum entanglement and stuff. Like, I don't even understand. I don't understand how quantum entanglement could ever possibly be a thing. But
yeah, dude, it's really, I enjoy, even though it seriously makes my head hurt. I enjoy listening to it because I think it kind of like expands your brain in a way nothing else does. Like having those deep thoughts like that and making your brain think about that bigger shit, right? Like it makes your brain work in a way that it doesn't work on a daily basis. And I think it's a good thing for your mind to think about those things, even if you don't fully understand them. Just the exercise of trying to understand it and work in your brain, I think is important.
And that's how Jeremy feels when he watches Word Party on Netflix.
I just spit on my fucking hand. I said, ha ha, just like fucking spit right on my hand. Yeah, that it's weird shit, man. I really enjoy listening to it, but it definitely gets you in like a weird zone. You're like,
yeah, the more I listen to the Michael guy from Vsauce, like the stupider I feel. Like Destin at least makes things palatable. Like, right, you can watch a video of his, he explains it in a way that you can understand it. But Vsauce, like, he just melts your brain.
Dude, by the way, I just have to read this comment because I think this is a funny extrapolation of our podcast. Started with hot Carls, and now we're in theoretical physics.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're gonna get with the old.
This was a podcast about grooming and hygiene, and here we are talking theoretical physics. Hey, whiskey knife fight, everybody! Whiskey knife fight.
Oh God, sorry guys, we're all over the place. But and this is the conversations we used to have on the phone while we decided to have a podcast, right? Because we would have these fucking stupid conversations that would last 2 hours, starting with a pocket knife we just got and ending with something having nothing to do with anything. And we're like, why don't we just start a podcast? This is how people have conversations. This is the way a natural conversation flows. It goes in all kinds of weird directions that you don't think about beforehand, and then you don't even know how the fuck you got there when you look back. But
yeah, people will love this. I'm so random, lol. Like.
I mean, doesn't everybody's conversations go like this though? Honestly, like real
sure.
Right? When you're having a conversation,
this is the sort of stuff like when I'm sitting around a campfire with people. Like this is where it goes. It goes literally everywhere, and that's what I would prefer this podcast to be. Like if Jeremy and I lived in the same place and could have a campfire every Wednesday night, this podcast will be around that campfire.
Right. Like, I don't know. I feel like when you're sitting around a campfire or when you're sitting out grilling on the in the summer with your buddies, drinking whiskey and smoking cigar, I feel like this is the kind of weird shit conversations. This is the way they go, right? You talk about all kinds of crazy shit.
Well, okay. With the exception of some of the things that Jeremy brings to the table, such as butt pee and hot Carls.
You gotta bring the dick and fart jokes because we're guys, and I don't care if I'm 50 or I'm 60 or 70 or whatever. I'm still gonna think that shit's funny.
I was about to say you're approaching 50, aren't you?
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm approaching 50, but I'm not a fucking stretch. I'm not a long stretch from it. I'll be on. I mean, I'll be 40. Yeah, I'll be 43 in May.
Sure, that's right.
Yeah, it is. I had to think about it for a hot second, but yeah, 43 in May. So I mean, I'm not like. I mean, it's not real close, but it's not fucking real far off either. It's relatively close. But yeah,
this is a really good comment. I like that.
Boomer.
Yeah. Thomas Papa Constantino.
Holy fuck, look at that last name.
Papa Constantino.
That is an impressive last name, my friend. That is impressive. That might have been the longest last name I've ever seen. Is that a real last name or? Wow, dude, that is an impressive last name. Like, I bet you he couldn't spell his last name until he was 10. Like, that is impressive, bro.
Just because everybody else struggles with letters doesn't mean, or wait, no, damn it. I fucked it up. I was going to say just because you struggle with letters doesn't mean everybody else does.
Don't you love it when you got a good one in your head, you're gonna lean into it, you fuck it up, and you're like, damn it. I do that with my wife, and you know me, I fumble my words a lot, right? Like,
that's a word for it. I
think my brain works faster than my mouth sometimes. And I'll have a good one. I'll be about to lay into my wife, not like in a mean way, but give her some shit about something. And then I'll fumble it. And she's just like, you fucking idiot. You can't even insult me, right?
I don't think anybody is saying that your brain is working faster than your mouth. Maybe it's that your brain is working slower than your mouth.
It could be either or, honestly. Could be. Neither saying much. But what I was trying to.
You want to transition into some questions?
Yeah, because that usually ends up taking a while.
Jeremy, how long does it take you to have your beard that long?
That's a weird thing. We could have gone into that a little bit with grooming. Can I say that there's two things irritating me right now? One, for some reason, every time we do this podcast, my fucking contacts dry out and it drives me crazy. And two, one of the other things about long mustaches.
Okay, so three. There are three things.
One of my other things about long mustaches that can be troublesome is sometimes you'll get a hair that flips up and goes in your nose. And then,
dude, when I'm laying,
you're constantly and it just keeps going in there and tickling it. And you're like, motherfucker. And
you lay down at night and the pillow pushes it right up into my nose. Like,
it's ridiculous.
Can't stop. I have to lay down on the pillow and slide my face up.
Hey, dude, I do that when I lay down the pillow every night. I run my hand in between my face and my pillow and tuck my mustache into the pillow, because if not, it's like up here. And then I wake up, and if I sleep like that, I wake up and I've got like the Salvador Dali, like the fucking mustache. It's like straight. So I tuck it in when I lay down. But yeah, I give this answer a lot, and people are always like, thanks for nothing, dick. I don't know. Everybody's beard grows at a different length, and everybody has a terminal kind of growth of their beard. My beard, I also don't know how long, because I cut it fairly regularly, right? Like every couple months or so, I'll cut like a half inch or so off the bottom because it just gets real ratty at the bottom and thin and kind of, gross. Um, so I don't know. I mean, I haven't clean shaved. I started growing my beard probably 10 years ago, but this isn't 10 years of growth because I cut it all the time. So I don't remember when it got to this length. So I don't have a firm answer. I would say you could probably, if you got a good amount of beard growth, you could probably grow a beard this length in probably 2-3 years. Wouldn't you say, Taylor? 2 or 3 years of not shaving? If you didn't shave at all?
This is a year and a half, and my beard is longer than it seems. I mean, it's down to my chest. It just, you can't see it. It curls up into itself. So I don't know. My beard is technically, like, if I straightened it, it'd be about here for a year and a half. I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's hard to say. I'd say if you started growing it, it could be, but I think mine is at terminal length. I don't think like you see guys with, like my buddy Jason, his used to be down to like his crotch. I don't think mine's going to grow anymore because like I said, the ends of it get real gross and I have to cut about a half inch off every few months.
Smiling Beard says, when is the I Love Truly shirts coming out? Not soon enough, guy. Not soon enough.
Whenever we get this podcast stuff and all the tax information for everything finished to where we can get all that squared away, we will have some I Love Truly, some Fuck Truly. I'm definitely getting a Fuck Truly shirt for sure. For sure. I think we had talked about, I don't know if you were going to do it on the podcast one or if you were going to do it in your store, but we were talking about I Did a Thing shirt.
I'm going to get a shirt that says I Love Truly Made, but it's going to be somebody pouring Truly into this flask on the shirt. Watch me. Watch me. Josh Rueda says, did we talk about grooming today?
We did.
Briefly.
Not briefly. We talked about it for about 45 minutes, I'd say.
Danny said, who's helping on the Overland project? Well, technically nobody's helping overall. It's just me. And a lot of the stuff is just bolt on, right? Like the suspension, if you jack the car up, put it on 4 jack stands. I mean, I could do the suspension myself, but Rick will be helping me a little bit with the suspension. But bumpers is more of just take the one off, put the new one on. Roof rack.
Yeah.
A roof rack on the Discovery, like it's got a rail. You just put the rack on. I might need somebody to help me lift it, and I've got people around here who can help. And you just screw it on. It's got a few screws. Like that's that simple.
Get your old ratchet set.
Yeah. Like so. The brunt of the stuff for now is just bolt on. Once I get into it, I've got a little bit of a surprise.
Fucking contact.
But I mean, I don't know if it's a surprise. I'm gonna eventually, I think, do an LS swap in the Discovery, and I am not very mechanically inclined. Danny, who I know is a mechanic, could help with that. He lives fairly close. He lives like 50 minutes away. But yeah, I don't have anybody helping me really.
Somebody's asking me about me without a beard or me with. So I was looking to see if I had any pictures. I think I've done this before and I couldn't ever find any. But
oh no, I have one. I got a picture of you without a beard.
Stop it! You have some shit that's not really.
I have a picture of Jeremy without a beard.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. It's on your Facebook.
Without a beard completely?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
It's been a good 10 years since I have had no beard.
It's on your Facebook. It's right here. I'll show you.
I haven't posted. Oh, there's me without a beard, but that's the back of my head. You can't really see the whole thing. I think you did this before, and I think you pulled up like a picture of something stupid. It wasn't really me. You're like, I have a picture of you had a beard, and you pulled up like some 90-year-old dude that's bald or some shit.
No, it's a picture of you, Jeremy. You don't believe me.
Yeah, I see. I fucking knew it. I knew it when you were like, "Oh, it's on your Facebook." I'm like, dude, I don't think there is because there's
a picture of you on Facebook without a beard, but it is like the back of your head.
Yeah, because I don't really post to Facebook. I I kind of hate Facebook a little bit, if I'm being honest. Trying to look, I have like a million pictures of my kids.
So there you have it, guys. That is Jeremy Sires without a beard.
There's my old boat. Hey, the old boat. There's that's not really me with no beard. That's about the best I've got. That's a picture of me with like a short beard.
It looks like Dan Blazarian, whatever his name is. Are you Dan Blizz? What is his name? Blizzarin?
Blazarian or whatever? No, I don't look like that. That's the closest thing to no beard I have. Can you dye your beard patina? It is patinaed, man. That's what all this gray is that's in this bitch. Is patina.
Patina.
Drink, bitches, drink.
Yeah, you guys drinking at home are wasted.
Espresso video. I do have some espresso stuff coming. I've been waiting to do the grinder video. Don't make a comment about the app grinder. The coffee.
Is that a sponsored video?
Yeah. The coffee grinder video. Because the folks at that I work with on those videos, Whole Latte Love, they're coming out with a new espresso machine that's really nice, and they're going to send me one.
It's popular among the grinder community.
And I want to test the new grinder that I have with the better espresso machine, and kind of do like a whole series with the new espresso machine and the grinder. So I'm waiting for it to get done. They've been prototyping stuff. So once that's all done and ready, there will be a little series of espresso / grinders and all that shit.
Calvin said, do a podcast about coffee and the best cigars for the non-drinkers.
Dude, I'm down with doing a coffee podcast.
Why haven't we thought about that yet?
Yeah, we really should, because we both fucking love coffee. I mean, I got coffee in this glass, right, Sean? I mean, see, it's got. See?
You want to see how much I love coffee? This is going to make Jeremy sad.
Hey, look what's on the top there, Taylor.
It's a pretty sticker you got right there.
Pretty sticker and a coffee sticker. Yeah, Calvin, I love coffee, man. Love coffee. Love it so much. And I will say, I like coffee as good with cigars as I do whiskey. Sometimes I think coffee is actually a better beverage for cigars than whiskey. Coffee and whiskey is good too, but coffee and cigars is fantastic.
You want to see how much I love coffee?
Let's see it. Let her rip, Tater Chip. What you got there? What is that?
Instant coffee.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here with that shit.
I got 2 bags of it. These are actually expensive. Each one of these is about $80.
Those you said was the only instant coffee that you consider drinkable, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like a good, it's not like bullshit coffee. It's actually like a good.
Yeah. So the way it's made is they brew the coffee using, I don't know, giant Chemex or whatever they use to brew the coffee. It's a very high quality coffee that's brewed and then freeze dried. So it's not like your actual instant coffee from the grocery store. It's a little way more expensive. It still averages at like $2 a cup.
Yeah, man. And I like all types of coffee, right? Like I drink everything from like your super Valley Girl pumpkin spice latte all the way. I normally like to drink coffee. Yeah, I thought you were going to play the whole thing.
No, look at that. It was just fitting. Sorry.
Okay, it was. I thought you were going to, I'm like, here we go. Fucking. I normally like to drink coffee. Coffee. I want that caffeine, baby. And I know this is going to sound super like bouge, but I can't disagree. I enjoy a good Truly if it's within your wheelhouse and something you can, you got the budget for it.
I was going to let it go. And then you kept going.
If I ever come up to your studio, I'm pissing in your Rode Podcaster so that it shorts out the board and gets rid of that. I'm pissing in it. I'm pissing directly in your fucking podcaster.
You felt made me spit water all over my MacBook.
But anyway, I like, and some people are like, oh, I like all coffee. Like I said, all the way from your like pumpkin spice lattes, which are, a little on the like, whatever, all the way to like a straight double shot.
Look at Jeremy like watching his words.
I'm trying not to piss anything. You got to be careful, man. Cancel culture is a real thing these days. All the way to like a double shot of just straight espresso, right? I like it all. Sometimes I'm in the mood for that hard hitting espresso. Sometimes I'm in the mood for something with a little sweetness, a little something easy. I will say I don't like all the shit though. Like sometimes my wife will get these ones that are like a caramel macchiato and it's got like all kinds of whipped cream and chocolate drizzle and shit. Like it does get overboard with that stuff. It's a little too much sometimes.
I go to the coffee shop every day now. I don't make my own coffee. I used to every single day. I got out of the habit when I had a kid and I haven't gotten back into it yet, but I think I will once I get the whiskey wall built here because this little whiskey barrel, which makes more sense for a whiskey stand, but I'm going to have too much whiskey for that. That's going to become a coffee station. And I think I'll be able to make coffee here now. I don't have a good way to make coffee right now, but I go to a coffee shop every single morning and I either get a 4-shot Americano or cold brew with a double shot in it. So
my wife just says, I never get that. She's full of shit. She does get that. I have seen her get some straight up girl drinks. Okay. Straight up. Now I will say most of the time her thing that she's been on lately has been, shit. What's that thing called?
Irish coffee?
Nope.
I had to say it because it's St. Patrick's Day.
Cold foam or cold. Fuck. What's it called? It's like a nitro cold foam or nitro. I don't know. It's some kind of nitro cold brew coffee with some kind of salted. Look, she's texting me. She's like, you stupid ass. How the fuck do you not remember this? You've ordered it for me 100 times with sweet cream, nitro cold brew with sweet cream. And then they also had one with some kind of salted cream at some point. That's been her jam lately. But at one point she was into the fucking drinks with all the stuff. Don't you sit there and tell me. I know you're watching. Don't you tell me that shit. You lie.
That's Alex. Alex likes the more sugar, the better.
Allison's not a crazy. I mean, in her normal coffee, she doesn't, like overdo the sugar and stuff. She just drinks normal old coffee, that dude, for some reason, that bottle is at the perfect spot for a cork pop, dude. That thing, boom, boom.
I got a good question here from John Morris. Hey, Taylor, you brought me into the shiz. We about that EDC life, but I need to know about that Michael Fisher stuff you guys used to podcast. Yeah, we won Tech Podcast of the Year. I think our first year, which is kind of cool from Stitcher. But it was the EDC, not the EDC. What is wrong with me? It was the Pocket Now Weekly.
My strokes are contagious. You've been around me too much.
We're stroking together.
We talked about that. That could be misconstrued. I'm gonna just mark that.
Wait, the best part is that I get the marks. You don't get my audio.
That's true.
Anyway, Pocket Now Weekly, Michael and I had a podcast together. It was a lot of fun, but I worked with Michael at Pocket Now for a very long time. He was one of my best friends. Still is, sort of. So it's Chris says, Taylor, did you see Casey bought a new Land Rover for mudding? No, I actually sent a picture of my Land Rover to Peter, and he was like, hey, did you see Casey got a Land Rover? He's been like mudding every single day and rock crawling and stuff. And I'm like, no, but that's exactly why I bought this one.
That's
so I
hilarious.
can take it out all the time.
I was wondering if they were talking about Casey Neistat.
Yeah.
He doesn't post as much as he used to.
He hasn't uploaded a video in months.
Yeah, he doesn't post like he used to.
Like 2 or 3 months.
I mean, obviously he doesn't post like he used to. That bitch used to post every single day.
Right. But he also kind of doesn't need to.
He kind of doesn't need to. And honestly, he earned it. Enjoy it, man. Like
he worked his ass off for years.
Did he?
Like I work hard, you work hard, but daily vlogging is brutal. I made one video every day for a week straight a few times in my life. Dude, it's exhausting. It is just non-stop, and you have to be efficient as hell. I don't know how he did it with a kid.
No, I don't either. Well,
I do not know, because he had his daughter while he was daily vlogging. Did he not?
Yeah.
I think so. Like, Jesus Christ, I can't even imagine.
Oh,
I wasn't functional. I still have not fully recovered from having a daughter as far as like work efficiency goes. And I think part of that is learning new things and getting to know you and you rubbing off on me and something like that. I was talking with Rockwell earlier today about that. Like when I met you, you made approximately the same amount of videos as you make now. like
about a video a week.
About a video a week. I was making like 3 videos a week, and now I operate on your schedule.
Well, I could do. I'm going to try to get up to a little bit more than a video a week. I've been trying for years and never has happened. But I also want to. I do the podcast once a week, so that's another piece of content out there. And I'm going to start trying to do at least one live stream on my channel a month. So, I'd like to get to putting out 6-7 pieces of content a month on my channels, not including the podcast that we do every week. We'll see. Live streams are a little bit better because you don't have all the post processing, so that makes it a little easier.
Well, you say that, but I have to post process the podcast. So
no, but I'm talking normal live streams, right? You don't. Somebody said, "What's Cuban coffee? Is it a brand?" No, it's not. It's a style of coffee. I mean, I'm sure there are Cuban brands of coffee, certainly. But normally when people say Cuban coffee, it is a style of coffee where the way that I always made it and the way most of the like legit Cubans that I know make it is with the mocha pots.
Yeah.
So it's like real strong coffee. And then the way they do it with the sugar, it's so good. So when you make it in the mocha pot, when the first couple drips of coffee come up into the pot and it starts to brew, you get like a couple big tablespoons of sugar in like a little cup or something. And the first little cups of drips of coffee that come through, you pour that in the sugar and then put it back on and let it continue to brew. And you whip the sugar with just a little bit of coffee to where it looks like peanut butter, basically. You whip it into this paste with the sugar and a little bit of coffee. And when the coffee's done, you pour that in the coffee. Oh, dude, it is so fucking good. And it will get you sprung because there's a lot of caffeine and a lot of sugar. And you are like, what's up, everybody? Let's fucking go. It's go time, bitches.
Maybe that's what I need you to do on like Tuesday mornings so that we can plan this shit ahead of time.
See, the tough thing is Tuesdays are rough because Tuesdays when I do all my calls. That's like the other day you called me because you were having that problem with, and I was right in the middle of my morning of like conference calls. I have like calls. So I'm on like all kinds of calls and your color grading is exploding. And I'm like, bro, I'm like right in the middle of shit. I can't answer you right now.
So I talked you into getting that color board, which I took off the table earlier.
Yes.
The X-Rite color checker. I talked you into getting it.
Yes.
Because I'm like, this thing's going to be great. And then I set it up, set everything up, my new set. Everything's good to go. Took me hours and hours and hours this week to get everything set up because I'm in a new space. And I'm using new cameras with new color profiles and new everything. Set up. Hold the color checker up in front of this camera, color checker for my top camera, and color checker for my C cam. Run a test video, go over to the computer, go to match, and I look like a fucking vampire.
Yeah, you did. You looked like straight out Twilight.
What happened? I can't get it to work. I've tried putting LUTs on before running the color checker. I've tried running the color checker without that. I've done everything.
I put what do they call it? I can't think of the word right now. I drop like what's the LUT called that just brings you to Rec 709? What do they call those kind of LUTs? It's basically like a LUT made by Sony that's meant to take S-Log footage to Rec 709 footage, right? And
I need that. You should send that to me. You
just go to Sony's website and you download it. It's on their website.
Okay.
But I could probably, I think it's a cube file. I could probably drop it in the, in our share drive so you can just download it so you don't have to go to, but I don't know if it has the downloader and all that. I'll either do that or I'll send you the link to the where you can get it. But yeah,
and I had to update all my cameras. Like, dude, everything this week has been. I came in on Monday night thinking I want to set up, shoot a video, and I'm going to be good. I'm going to give this footage to Megan. She's going to edit it for me. No,
the struggle is real.
It took me 4 hours to set up on Monday night, and then I got here Tuesday, and it took me another 2 or 3 hours. And I shot the video, and I got over to my computer, and I'm trying to run that color checker thing, and I'm like.
The struggle is real, bro.
So I spent all day Tuesday. I spent learning how to color correct using the color checker, but not using the software that you just kind of boop, match. I'm going in there and like matching colors manually. Like,
I will say,
now that I know that, like, that's actually a really good thing to know. But oh man,
The color checker is fantastic, but I have to say, a lot of times if I use a gray card to get my white balance right before I start shooting, and then I use that Sony LUT that brings it to Rec 709, I don't even need to use the color checker because my colors are good, and then I can just tweak them with whatever I want to tweak. But the colors are solid after you use that LUT. If you white balance to a gray card before you start shooting, and I know everybody in the chat's like, "What the fuck are we talking about? This shit is not what we want to hear." But anyway,
well, I learned this week how to hold that color checker up, ignore the board with the panels, like the color panels, and just use the 3 grayscale cards
to get your exposure right and stuff.
Well, exposure and white balance off that card,
right,
manually with histograms.
Yep, it's great.
I went in deep this week.
You went in deep, bro. It's good. It's good.
Okay, now that we've like totally confused everybody.
Yeah, we went into a bunch of shit that literally probably 1% of our audience gives 2 hot fucks about. Yeah,
let me show you guys what we're talking about real quick. So
somebody mentioned the like button needs some love, and I agree. 106 likes. Come on, guys. What the fuck? Give that like button a little love. It helps YouTube make sure our video goes out to people. I don't usually harp on the like button very much, but yeah, we probably should remind people, like, come on now. Hit that
like button.
Yeah.
We're just here for fun right now, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's still fun to give a little love. Give us a little loving. Just a little tap. Just one tap, because 2 tap goes away. Just one.
Well, everybody who's Team Taylor, hit the dislike button.
No, for sure, don't do that.
So this is what we're talking about. This is a color checker, and if you shoot in like S-Log on your camera, which means that everything looks super flat. Like if I switched my camera to S-Log right now, I would not look like I would look gray, basically.
Right.
So you hold this up, and this gives the software that you edit in a frame of reference for what each color should look like. So it goes from this gray, which means that it doesn't put as much processing power and data into the colors as it does detail and light. So then you have more dynamic range. You have more to work with the final footage. This is supposed to make your life so much easier. And this week, it has made my life a living hell.
It's good, even if you don't use the software, just to have something that has a true color palette so that you have a point of reference, right?
Right. So this black is reflective, but if you get all the reflections off the black, it's
true
black.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a 50% gray and a true white. And then all of your colors are your magentas and all your different colors, and they're color calibrated panels so that is the green on that should be green on a vector scope in your color grading software.
Yep. And these are skin tones, and this is just another grayscale. So if that, just to give you guys a little bit of a frame of reference, since we went like 10 minutes on color correction in my nightmare this week.
Yeah, color grading can be one of the most frustrating parts of video editing.
Alex said, I'm going to bed. Taylor and Jeremy in the bromance before midnight tonight. If you can, please, and thanks.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we will. We're
probably going to wrap this up in a few minutes, actually.
Yeah, we need to start work because me and Taylor always end up talking for another 20 minutes after the podcast.
20?
So sometimes 30.
Yeah.
So when we don't get off till like close to midnight, then it's like fucking midnight by the time we get off. And then by the time I have to wind down from the podcast, right? Because when you're doing the podcast, you're on, right? Like you can't be over here like fucking fading. So like it takes me a good hour of like chilling to get ready to go to sleep. So yeah, it ends up going to bed at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Yeah. So we talk for 30 minutes to an hour sometimes, and then I have to drive home.
Right.
And then I have to wind down after I get home. Usually Wednesdays, I tell Alex, I'm like, I'm going to be home late. I'm going to be up till like 2.
Yep.
And I'm going to hate life Thursday morning.
Well, and that's the thing. It's in the week,
like,
right? So like I got to get up, take the kids to school and do all the things the next morning. So, I mean, we get up. My wife is, I don't know if she's still watching, but she is sweet enough to normally get up and handle most of the shit. So I don't have to get up crazy early. I just have to get up in time to like hit my face with some water, get a cup of coffee and a cigar, and then go.
I have a newborn who does not give a damn what I'm doing Wednesday night. Just saying.
Somebody needs a couple patinas, Taylor.
Patina.
Look at that. I'm finally remembering what all these buttons do. I don't know. I know this one's the song, which I'm not going to hit. I don't know what this one is.
I love to gobble cock. I'm definitely pissing on your Roadcaster Pro for sure.
I had no clue what it was.
And I'm actually directing the stream right into the channel slider, so I have the best chance of getting in and really shorten it out.
Yeah, I think this one is wow, dude.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Hey.
And I don't know what this one's. This is patina, and then there's truly. I don't know what this one is.
Every time we go in there, they get in somebody's ass.
I have no idea what that was in reference to.
I don't either.
I have a second board, but I don't know how to get to it anymore.
You go up in the menu up there.
Oh, there it is.
But yeah, I mean, you could definitely get aggressive on your sucking.
Take it easy, long, slow pulls on it, and enjoy it. That's what it's for. That is what it's for. See, Calvin, I don't know if Calvin's still in here, but that's weird. He was talking about knobs. There you go. You got a big old butthole if you're putting that big old thing in there. But hey, I'm just saying.
That's the one.
He's got some girth on it, son. I have no idea. This is why I start watching my words, because
my God,
some shit could be taken out of context.
What was the context for that soundbite? I don't know. I have no idea anymore.
I have a big old butthole if you're putting that big old thing in there. I have no idea what we were talking about.
Me either. No clue. Nothing.
Or why I could have possibly got on that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I never know why you get on the topics you get on.
I don't either half the time, by the way.
And that's why I have this flag and I hit it all the time. I had one in the last episode where I could have added a good 3 sound bites, but I didn't. I was too stressed and pissed off because you forgot your noise gate and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I can't say anything. I'm my own worst enemy. I don't have a whole lot of filter, right? I kind of say what comes in my brain, which isn't always good for me and soundboards.
John Moore says no super chats. Not yet. We haven't monetized the podcast. We could have like 8 months ago at this point, but no, we do not have any.
We got to get tax shit straight, right? Because if we monetize the podcast and then we get paid for it, you got to split the money, obviously, and then it gets weird, and you got to start partnerships and legal stuff to make sure taxes are good. And Uncle Sam wants his cut and shit. So we got to we're going to get all that straight soon, so we can start doing some.
Yeah, we have to get that 90-10 split between Jeremy and I set in stone.
Well, that, and they got the subscriptions now. I was asking Dan about that because they have all kinds of.
Was that a confirmation of that?
That was I'm not even acknowledging it because it was just ridiculous.
Can the chat acknowledge that he just confirmed that we're doing a 90-10 split with the podcast?
I for sure did not acknowledge that. But you can get like memberships, and then you can make like custom emojis and shit that people can use in the chat and all kinds of like fun stuff for live streaming and stuff. So yeah, we can get into all that once we get all the shit worked out. We got
what? Jeremy 90, Taylor 10. Hell no.
I love you.
90% of my time
Bam Mechanic
is spent wrangling Jeremy.
Come on, Bam Mechanic. You're my man.
Jeremy's just firing off random directions, doing random shit, and I'm trying to wrangle him. I'm the one doing the work.
Yes, it's true. It is true.
Jeremy does do 99% of the talking, but what you don't understand is that if I weren't here, he would not stop. Right. So I'm wrangling him in. If you've ever had a phone conversation with Jeremy, you would understand. 90% of the conversation is, okay, Jeremy, I got it. You're really tilted about this, but I got to go. Like, I know you're very passionate about this topic and you want to keep going, but I have to go. And it's like I didn't even say anything, and he just keeps going.
Look at Calvin. 50-50 split. See, Calvin's a good dude, man. He likes you, even though he shouldn't, because you're a dickhead. See, that shows you what a kind person Calvin is, that he's giving you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I think 90-10 is fair,
I'm trying to see if there's any more comments. Man, I'm going to start wearing my glasses on the podcast. I wear my contacts during the day and they don't bother me, but for some reason, every time we do this podcast, they dry out and then they get out of focus. I can't fucking see the comments. I'm gonna start wearing my glasses. Then you guys are really gonna give me shit about. Oh, by the way, fucking Dan now, he apparently has made every time I get a package from Dan, like when he sends me these bottles and stuff, it's always addressed to Father Time Inc. So apparently I've been incorporated as Father Time.
I think you should.
I
think you should. And I need to change my corporation name. The corporation name is Casper Tech. Like,
yeah,
I don't use that name.
I mean, you're still pale as fuck, but you don't really talk about tech much anymore. So you should just be like Casper
Naffs.
Yeah. Oh shit. What does it say? More vlogs. Yeah, I do them randomly here and there. There will be one soon. I don't know when for sure the next one will be, but within the next couple weeks, probably. I sprinkle them in randomly.
Yeah, I had somebody complain to me that I'm doing more vlog style content on my channel. And I said, okay, I'm still going to do it, but
yeah, I mean, it is.
Hear you.
I kind of just do my thing, man, and hopefully people enjoy it. You know, that we've talked about that ad nauseum on calls and in the podcast. I just kind of do my thing. I'm sure there's some content that people like more than others, but I try to sprinkle a little bit of everything out there and hopefully people enjoy it, you know? Thoughts on Mad Rabbit so far? I love the Mad Rabbit, the tattoo bomb. I think that stuff's great, man. I did a little video with them. Whenever I do sponsorships, I never agree to a sponsorship until they send me product and I use it for a little while before I even agree, because I'm not going to take their money and do an ad if I don't like the product. I think it's good stuff. I have not used the new products they come out with yet. They came out with like a daily sunscreen type stuff. It's got like a low SPF in it, so your tattoos don't get beat up by the sun. And they got a tattoo aftercare that I just recently got a new tattoo, and I reached out to him and I told him, I was like, hey, I know we got an ad coming up. I'm getting a new tattoo. This is a perfect time to send me that new shit and I'll try it and see if it works, you know, and if it works, I'll include it in the ad spot if it's any good. And they couldn't get it to me in time.
What you guys don't know is that Jeremy did get a new tattoo, not the one that's on his forearm or this arm, but he has a new tattoo on his ass cheek, and it's a Truly can.
No, it's actually Yosemite Sam with his guns pointed at my butthole. Says, "Come out, you rascally rabbit."
So what we really need is another stipulation, right? So 1,000 concurrents, you smoke a Texas Lancero.
Right.
We need another kind of milestone goal where you get a Truly tattooed on you.
That's for sure not happening. Taylor, look right there. Kyle S. B. What the fuck? S. Kyle S. Look what he said. See, and you said those people don't exist.
Keep up enjoying the new addition to your channel. I appreciate it. I didn't say they don't exist.
No, but you said a lot of times people give you a hard time when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, when I try to do anything other than everyday carry, like a lot of people get mad. They're like, what are you doing? We don't care about this. I had a guy say, I don't come to your channel for this. I'm like, it's my channel. I don't care.
Like you're supposed to be on a journey with somebody with this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like kind of, you know, there's going to be stuff you like. I mean, I know I have people that I watch their channels that there's certain videos that I watch more than others, or there's certain, you know, series they do that if that series pops up, I immediately watch it, where other stuff I might take a few days to get around to it because it doesn't interest me as much. And that's just the natural progression of things, but you know, it is what it is. Hey, somebody wants to know when you're John B also wants to know when when you're getting a tattoo.
That was the milestone goal.
You've been talking about it for a minute though. You just getting like some kind of tattoo. I mean, you were joking about getting my name tattooed across your chest.
Yeah, but my first tattoo won't happen until we hit 1,000 concurrents.
Oh, well then we need to get
that. That was the goal. My first tattoo happens when we get 1,000 concurrents, and you smoke the Texas Lancero.
Here's the thing. I am such a fan of tattoos that I will happily take one for the team and smoke that fucking huge donkey cock. Jesus Christ. Donkey cock of a cigar so that you can get your first tattoo.
Well, it's going to come down to like Pete coming on or somebody like that, like, you know, promoting this outside our circles. I would think within our circles, we could hit 1,000 concurrents, but that's apparently not the case. I've plugged the podcast on the channel several times. So have you. It would probably help, just throwing this out there, it would probably help if, I don't know, Jeremy, If we told people we were podcasting before 6 hours before we go live.
Man, here's the thing about that. I don't know that fucking matters, man, because
it doesn't.
Yeah, it's like as long as you warn people early in the day so they know it's happening, like 3 or 4 days before, I mean, they're going to fucking forget, right? Like, I mean, is it really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think
I'm trying to post it 23 and a half hours before we go live.
I think the key is consistency, right? Like, I know I talked to Dan and Sean because their live stream has gotten very good, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, they're up to like around 1,000 concurrent a lot of the time, right? And I said, what do you guys think did it? And they're like, man, consistency. We do it at the same time every week, and just over this, obviously you've got to have good content, but assuming
that's where we really struggle.
That's where we're struggling. But as long as you're doing something that's keeping the people entertained and you're consistent, then it'll grow. And I think that's the main thing. Thank you, Healthy Bearded. Sorry if I'm like having a hard time reading, but my contacts are fucked up and I can barely see the computer.
Yo, my guy, I have to break it to you. It's actually fake.
It's definitely not.
It's fake.
The thing's in there, dude. It's in there.
It's glued on really good. He used that DAP. He epoxied that shit on.
We were talking about, I don't know, has Pete mentioned any of his tattoos lately? On a public forum?
No. Okay. So he posted his neck tat, or not the actual tat, but he posted that he was getting a neck tat.
Okay.
Like it was obscured, but he sent me another picture of some other tattoos he got.
Yeah.
And I commented.
Oh no, they're all great. They're
hilarious. But I commented on the neck tat post on Instagram and I said, you should show him the real pirate tattoos. And he's like, those are for text messages only.
Yeah, those are great. He sent those to me and they're fantastic. But what made me think he said killer tattoo and I was lifting this up is Peter got a neck tattoo. I won't go into any details because I don't want to, whenever he shows people, he'll show people or whatever, but he has mentioned it publicly that he got one. So I feel okay saying that. I've wanted a neck tattoo for a while and I've thought about getting one. And then it's like, I think it was one of my kids was like, but you wouldn't be able to see it. I'm like, no, like a neck tattoo, like over here, a throat tattoo would do me no fucking good. Like you can't see it. It would do zero good for me to get a throat tattoo. But I do think a neck tattoo might be in there.
One of my best friends from high school, like I think it was right before he graduated, got a stiletto tattooed right behind his ear.
Uh-huh.
He's such an interesting guy. I love him to death. His name is Brett. He had a pink mohawk through most of high school with a big beard. He had a beard in middle school. He had a big ass beard in middle school.
Hey man, some people sprout those beards early, man.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. Miss him. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Somebody asked what your first tattoo is going to be.
Jeremy Sayers.
That's what somebody said. Sayers, nipple to nipple,
just nipple to nipple. Jeremy Sayers.
Did you say you were going to get your kids or something, or is it going to be kid related or family related? I always say that's my suggestion to people, by the way, if anybody cares to know, you never go wrong with getting family related sentimental tattoos, right?
No, like, I'm going to get something around my wrist that looks green so I can wear this watch and not worry about it.
We joked around about it, dude. Here's the thing. My tattoos are black and gray, right? So you could still see green through mine, and there's no green, bro. Like
I'm just gonna I'm gonna make it look like there's watercolor green under the watch, so it doesn't. You can't tell. I mean, that's
not my style of tattoo, but I do. Yeah, see, mine's not like that, bro. Look, there's a shadow right there, but I mean, there's no green.
Mine, green. No, I've thought about it. I will eventually probably get a tattoo for each of my children. But the first tattoo, because it's been such a big part of my life, will probably be my first YouTube channel's logo.
Oh, that's right. I think
honestly,
I saying something about that.
Because it's still relevant. It's very similar to the Carey Commission logo. It was a huge part of my life, and I learned so much through it, and it was a big failure. And I don't shy away from failures, and I wouldn't mind permanently marking. Yeah, I wouldn't mind permanently marking that on my body. I designed the logo myself. I like the logo. I'll wear it with pride.
Calvin says, "Knob, the word, not the thing."
Knob. Taylor also pale. Yeah, I am pretty pale.
That just means tattoos are going to look really good on you.
Sean Snyder says high pH in his sweat, not unusual. I'm not sweating. I'm not sweating now. I haven't sweated. Like I put this on.
I think he means just your
in general.
body,
I do
your body moisture, right? Like even if you're not sweating, there's still your pores are still there's still moisture coming out of your pores, even if you're not like fucking sweating. I think is what he's talking about.
Is that Nathan Lococo? Nathan Lococo, I was talking about you yesterday and your billing problems for my subscription service a long time ago, and how nobody else had any issues, but you did. Mod, yes. So Mod, for those of you who are not aware, the old channel is now named Taylor Martin, but it was at one point Modern Outdoor Dweller. It was originally just Mod, which stood for Modify. But then I renamed it to Modern Outdoor Dweller.
He said you patinaed your arm.
Yeah, every single time I wear this watch within like 10 minutes. You guys saw it last week. I was wearing a marathon. I put this watch on, and like a few minutes later, I was green. It just happens.
Somebody else is saying he ruins watches too, man. I guess I'm fortunate in that I do not have a high pH in my sweat because I don't have any of those issues. Like knives, I don't rust knives. I don't get weird stuff from watches. None of that stuff happens, fortunately, because it sounds like it's a bit of a pain in the ass because when you have problems with watches, you're always rusted knives, breaking omega springs, all kinds of shit. It sounds problematic.
Well, I haven't rusted this because I just started carrying it, but I have rusted M390, S35VN, S90V, which is not very easy to rust. I have rusted basically everything except Vanax, H1 from Spyderco.
You can't. And you could throw that in salt water and it won't fucking rust.
The only things I haven't rusted are Vanax, H1, and there's one more. I can't remember. There's another salt rated steel, basically.
Terry Conway says he just bought his first OpenSea leather wallet. Patina.
Very nice.
I was betting that I was just talking to Michael today. I reminded him that we're going to have him on the podcast at some point.
Yeah. Yep. LC200N. That is the blade steel that I was talking about. Yeah. Calvin says, do I still have a tech channel? No, I do not. No, I really got burned out hardcore on tech. I went really hard on it. Did hundreds of reviews in like 2 years. And just, man, burned me out hardcore. And
I feel like tech is one of those things that you can burn yourself out on because it's just constant. There is so much new tech all the time. And it's
you know what the worst part of the whole thing was? By far. Well, for one, I was talking to this somebody on the phone about this earlier today.
The fact that there's always new models that aren't really that much different than the previous.
Well, that's pretty bad. The worst thing about working in tech YouTube was like Friday, I'd get a shipment of a new phone. And by Monday, I would need a 4,000 word written review, a video review, a video comparison with similar phones, an unboxing, and I'd have to have it all published by like Monday night or Tuesday morning. And it's just like, okay, there goes my weekend, and then I'm going to work 80 hours after that. Like that was bad. But the worst part, and this sounds so like nitpicky or complainy or whatever, the worst part was setting up a new phone every like 4 days.
Yeah, dude, I couldn't handle that because it takes me that long to get my phone right.
Right, I hate setting up a phone and a new laptop or a new tablet or new anything. I hate setting up a new product, a tech product. And I was on average setting up a new phone like every 3 to 4 days for 2 years. It was brutal. I fucking hated it. I hated it.
And people have asked me why I don't do tech as much anymore. And it's for the first reason you had said it, and I got a little uninspired by it because, man, after you do so many tech reviews and you look at so many products, it gets to where it's like, it just feels like it's the same shit rehashed over and over. And it's just so uninteresting at some point where you're like, okay, it's the same thing as the last one, except they rounded the corners and added this little feature. And it's like,
yeah. And I will say, like, to a degree, knives have become the same way for me. And I think that would be true of anything that you go hardcore into.
Sure.
You get to a point where you've gone through most of the things, and then You realize
I think tech is like the worst though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It is the worst.
Like Galaxy S8 to S10, like there's 3 models there. The change is pretty much non-existent.
And, and I think tech more than any other industry or any other subsector is pumping shit out at just blinding speed, man.
Well,
just
so the thing that I'm saying, like with knives, is that it's getting that way. The knife world is growing rapidly, and you have companies like, and I'm not speaking poorly of this, I'm just explaining how things are. You have companies like Civivi or We Knife and Rayot and mostly these Chinese knife makers who are just pumping out new models. I have a video coming out later this week covering the Civivi models from 2020, and there are 19 models.
That's a lot.
19 new knives in 2019 or 2020, sorry. Yeah, and that's a lot. I can't keep up with it. And when you have people like Nick Shabazz and Metal Complex and Slicey Dicey and all these knife YouTubers who are reviewing anything and everything they can get their hands on, man, they are just flying through this stuff. I can't keep up. I can't do it because you've got not only OEM knives from Rayot and Civivi and We and Best Tech, and I don't know. There's so many different knives, and then there's not only through We, you have We, Civivi, and now Syncut. They have the third brand, so all of them are rolling out new knives. Then you have all the people who are getting production models. So Vero and Weir and Berg, and like it's just it never ends. Like if I tried to review every new knife in a year, it would be in the upper hundreds or thousands.
That's a lot.
It's crazy.
Oh, hold on.
Crazy.
I just saw one that I wanted to read.
Where was there was
my boy David Stewart. He said he got his flask and he loves it. That's awesome, brother. I'm glad you like it. It is a very nice it's a cool little flask, man.
It is begging to have Truly in it.
I knew that was coming.
I actually really put my mark on this. I bled on this today.
Hey, it's not yours until you bleed on it.
Yeah, look, I cut myself, and that is smeared blood.
It's not dark spot there. It's not yours until you bleed on
it. I kind of want to like get more blood on it. Is that weird?
I was actually, speaking of Das Affinamir, I was actually talking to him today, and he was saying he'd be interested in taking his stab at doing a leather sleeve for it. And I was like, oh, I'll have to talk to Chad. Maybe we'll have a version 2 of the leather sleeve at some point, and it'd be a Das Affinamir leather sleeve.
Ooh, do it in shell.
That's what he was talking about. Do it in like either a natural veg tan or a shell or something, and do like a
natural veg tan would be sick, but shell would be.
Well, he was saying natural veg tan because of how that natural veg tan patinas, man. That stuff just patinas so sweet, and because it's a sleeve, right? We could update the sleeves and sell additional sleeves and colors, and you could change them out if you wanted to, and all kinds of cool stuff. So could be interesting. Got to talk to Chad about that. I haven't told Chad about that. I just talked to him today.
Healthy Bearded said, what made you want to create this channel? I don't know if you're talking to me or to Jeremy or asking about Whiskey Night Fight. So if you can clarify, we'll come back to that.
Yes.
There was another one I wanted to pick up. Where was it? Taylor sits when he pees.
Hey.
Sometimes that's relaxing, okay?
I sit when I pee sometimes, bro. Like in the middle of the night when I get up to pee.
Wasn't that a mad what is that? Mad TV skit? I sit down when I pee or something like that.
Dude, in the middle of the night when I get up, I for sure sit down and pee. For sure. I'm fucking tired and I don't want to stand there. It's dark. You could miss and piss all over the seat, and then you got to clean that shit up. It's easier just to sit. It's relaxing. I'm half asleep. You're just sitting there and you pee. It's much easier than standing there wobbling around pissing all over the place. I ain't ashamed. I ain't too proud.
Miller asks, Taylor, what tech media company did you work for? Phone Dog, Pocket Now, XDA Developers, Android Authority, CNET. I'm probably forgetting something. I made the rounds pretty quickly. I applied for a job at Techno Buffalo, and John and I decided it was probably not the best decision. So yeah, I made the rounds. I knew pretty much everybody in the industry, and yeah, made my exit. I worked in tech for 7 or 8 years. 8 years.
Kimnick? I don't know how to say that. I can barely read it.
Not sure where we are.
He says it is medically proven to be better for your prostate to pee sitting down. Just saying. So there you go. See? Bam.
So now Jeremy's going to stand up because he really likes those prostate exams.
I just really love a swollen prostate where you can't piss and it just dribbles out and you could barely go. I'm looking forward to that.
Whiskey Knife, I'm new here, so gathering information. That's cool. Glad somebody just stumbled upon this. That's really nice.
Hey, that's awesome.
So both Jeremy, this guy over here, Jeremy has a channel called Jeremy Sires. I have a channel called Best MEDC, and then we both have second channels covering different things. And then this was created because Jeremy and I talked on the phone weekly for several hours, and the conversations were all over the place. And we thought, hey, that would probably make a pretty good podcast.
We always talk about shit. Could be
verdict's still out on whether that was a correct assumption or not, but
hey, we might as well vent those 2-hour conversations in a productive manner this way instead of wasting 3 hours of our day and not getting shit done during the day doing a call. So why not?
True.
Let's see.
Wow. Watched Taylor and Noah on Phone Dog back in my youth. Those were the days. That was a very, very long time ago. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me for that long.
That's a serious, that's a ride or dyer right there, buddy.
Gun deck or top cider? Top cider. All day.
I agree. Top cider. I'm a top cider guy. I'm a top cider, or actually the one that I carry mostly is I'm going to say it, Hobay. I would always call it the Hubei. And then Michael actually explained it. He's like, think of like hoe, and like your hoe is your bay. Like, like your bay. So like Hobay is how you say it.
I don't have that one. One last question. I think we should probably wrap it up here because this is going to be a wordy one for Jeremy, I'm sure. Jeremy and Taylor, why did you start YouTube channels?
Oof. Honestly, I started mine just for fun. You know, my YouTube channel did not start out as any kind of career or anything like that. I started out as just vlogging for fun to kind of catalog what was going on and have something to look back on when my kids were older, and just enjoyed cameras and that kind of stuff. So just started for shits and grins, and then slowly realized that I really, really enjoyed it. And, hey, this could actually become like a living doing something I really enjoy doing. And it just progressed. So mine was accidental, a happy accident.
Mine was much more purpose driven. I had been doing tech YouTube for a while, and the original reason I started the channel is I had an idea for a video that at the time Pocket Now turned down. I wanted to install a Nexus 7 in the dash of my FRS. So I had a FRS back in the day, and I wanted to take out the shitty Toyota head unit that came in it and put in a tablet. And they said, nah. And I said, well, if you guys don't want it, can I put it on my channel? And they said, nah. I'm like, why not? And they're like, fine, whatever. So I created a channel to put that video on. I did that, and it did okay. Actually, no. Years later, that video had like 300,000 or 400,000 views. So my very first video on my own did really, really well. So I started a channel based on that. Originally it was going to be my then roommate and I doing stuff like that. He was much better at the electrical side of things and could solder stuff and make all kinds of stuff. And then about a month after we started the channel, he got a job with Apple, who, when you get a job with them, they prevent you from having a YouTube channel or anything like that. So
really,
yeah,
that's dumb.
So I took it and ran, and the channel was just called Mod back then. And I ran that channel for like 6 years trying to make it work. It never really worked. There were times where it seemed like it could be a success. There were times when it wasn't. It got funded for a little bit. But I really wanted to go out on my own. I was doing YouTube videos for other people all the time, and those were doing really well. And I'm like, if I'm doing really well for other people, why can't I do it for myself? And that's where mine came from. I would rather make videos about what I want to make videos about rather than what somebody's telling me to make videos about. Because 100 times out of 100, the videos that I want to make videos about are going to be more interesting than something that somebody else told me to make a video about personally.
I think that's an interesting question. Somebody said, do you guys ever find it surreal that you do this now for an actual living? Yes, I do on a regular basis. And I never wake up a day that I'm not grateful for it, because let me tell you what, as much as there are stuff that we occasionally complain about on here with, trials and tribulations, it's still one of the best jobs going. I mean, it's great. You basically get to do the shit that you enjoy doing and make a living doing it anytime. And that's with any career where you're doing what you love and making a living, whether that's an artist, a musician, an architect, a doctor, whatever it is that you have a true passion for in life and you enjoy. If you're making a living and you enjoy doing that, it's a beautiful thing, and you've got to be grateful.
Totally agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I've always, just kind of like a side point to what I said, I've always struggled to work for other people, for various reasons. And it's not really like a problem with authority or whatever. It really stems from, I have my own ideas, and those ideas weren't accepted in the jobs that I had. And I'm like, I think they're good ideas and we should try them. And I was never really given the opportunity to, experiment or try ideas that I had. They were always pushed aside, and that always rubbed me the wrong way. And it was just because I wasn't, a manager, even though I probably should have been, it was very frustrating for me. And that was what initially pushed me towards working for myself. I've always wanted to run my own business and work for myself. And that kind of pushed me over the edge when I had a good idea and they're like, no, let's not do that. And then I did it and it worked. I did it on my own and it worked. And that was the sort of stuff that pushed me in this direction.
It's just something to be grateful for. It really is.
And now I fire hose ideas and I'm like, this one's going to be great. And then I upload the video and people are like,
Well, it's funny. Somebody else said, what's your highest viewed video to date? Somebody asked, what was it? How'd they say it? I said basically what was the highest viewed video to date. I can't remember where.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, there it is. Taylor and Jeremy, what is your most viewed video to date? David Stewart asked. I think mine is still my office tour from 2 years ago, which is why I'm actually working on doing a new office tour, because obviously it was a popular video and people enjoyed it. And I just renovated my office and did a bunch of changes. So I think it's time to do an update. But yeah, that is my most viewed. I'm pretty sure that's my most viewed. And I think that one is right about 3.5 million, I think, view count, if I'm not mistaken. 3.5 million, something like that.
Mine was not on my channel. It was back when I was doing tech. It was an iPhone 6 Plus like preview. Right when it came out, I made the video the day they were released.
Oh, dude, that had to crush.
2.7 million. Did pretty good.
Yeah, that's a crusher.
Yep.
It's always funny what you said, and that's why I stopped trying to chase the views, right? And that would be my one suggestion to anybody that wants to start YouTube. Don't chase views, because it's not a good way to operate.
It's a fool's errand.
It's a fool's errand, and it's not a good way to come up with content, right? Come up with content because it's interesting to you and you think it's interesting content and it's fun for you and you enjoy it. That's the best way to do it. If you're trying to come up with content based on what you think will get views, A, it's probably not going to get views, and B, it's probably not going to be the best content you could put out, right? You should do it because you enjoy it, not because.
So I did that because people started asking me to do certain types of videos. So I did a video where I did a budget EDC for $50.
Right.
That video crushed. Right. And I'm like, okay, sweet. So I bumped it up to $100. The video absolutely obliterated the first one. I'm like, sweet. Let's go to 250. Mm-hmm. Did pretty good. Didn't crush that one, but it did pretty good. And I'm like, all right, $500. So I spent $500 straight out of my pocket. Video fucking tanked. I'm like, dude, shit. I want to sell all this stuff.
It's crazy, man. Like, and that's why I said, like, some of the views that, and like I said, I don't chase views on videos anymore. I just do the videos that I enjoy and I think are fun and good content. But some of the ones that you still, even though you're not making them for the views, you still have in your head, like, oh, I think this one's going to do well, or I think this one may not, or whatever. And I still do videos that I don't like, leaf and barrel, for instance. I do those. Those are some of my least viewed videos, right? Like, people like them and people always tell me to do them and they like them. And, you know, if I don't do them, people get angry, but they have some of the lowest view counts of any of the videos on my channel. But I enjoyed.
That's the EDC Weekly for me. Like, that was what my bread and butter was. That's the series that the whole channel was built on. It gets the least amount of views of anything I do now, and people ask for it all the time.
Right.
On the flip side, I don't enjoy doing it. The editing on it is brutal.
No, I love doing the leaf and barrels, and I'll keep doing them because I enjoy it. And obviously, there's a crowd of people out there that enjoy them too. So I'll keep doing them. But it's just funny. The point I was making is, it's all over the place. You'll do a video thinking it's going to crush and it doesn't do anything. And then you'll do another video thinking it's a one-off and you're just doing it for shits and grins and it'll crush and you'll get 1 million views. And you're like, holy shit. Like, where the hell did that come from? So that's why I say, just do what you love doing and don't worry about it.
Yeah. There's no point in worrying about it because you can't predict the algorithm. You can't know for sure that anything you're going to do is a success every single time. And this is not me being like a Debbie Downer or, you know, ho hum, woe is me. But every single time, and I'm not the only creator who will tell you this, every single time I get super hyped and put a ton of effort into a video, it's usually like, okay. You know, and it gets like a fourth of the views that I normally get. I'm like, okay. Sure. And then I make a video and I'm like, this is stupid. I'm editing it. I'm like, I should not publish this. I'm embarrassed by this video. I should not do this video.
It's like 50,000 views in the first 8 hours. You're like, holy shit.
And I'm like, I should just make stupid videos every single time. But then if you try to do it again, it's not going to work. So that's the problem. John Morris says, hey, Taylor, what is your other channel other than Best MEDC? Well, you wanted to talk about trucks and camping. It's just Taylor Martin, and it's not going to just be trucks and camping and overlanding. That channel is going to be my catch-all for everything that is not EDC. So I was talking with someone earlier today. I probably at some point will build my own smoker and then smoke stuff, you know? So, I mean, that channel is going to be for everything that is not everyday carry. So don't subscribe to it expecting only overland and camping and outdoor content, because it's going to be the catch-all for everything.
He's going to have like my channel, which is just everything. Just whatever floats my boat.
But better.
But somebody said Leaf and Barrel was the only series they like. Cool, man. Somebody else, Terry Conway, said, I hate to sound so serious, but you guys, pull that up so you can see. I hate to sound so serious, but you guys have both become an inspiration to me and have unlocked some weird gate in my head. I do not think I can ever go back, nor would I want to. Awesome, man. I always love to hear that. Anytime you can inspire somebody, that's fantastic, because I know there's a lot of people out there that I watch on YouTube that inspire me. And I don't know, it's just a cool thing. I enjoy being inspired, and I think it's cool when you can inspire somebody else.
Yes, Chris. Yes, Chris, I'm tired of the joke. Taylor Martin being a guitar channel. Damn, I can't get away from it. I'm gonna have to change my name. I think that's probably a good place to wrap this up. We are encroaching on the 3-hour mark.
That's our spot.
Yeah, it really is. Oh man, I might get home before midnight. No, I won't. Jeremy, what do you got coming up? Drops or videos or anything?
Well, I told you the new shirts are coming, but that'll be a little while off. What have we got drops coming? We're working on the journals. We got some whiskey toppers coming pretty soon to go with the Glens, little whiskey toppers, little coins that look like, oh shit, can I reach it? Can I pull can I, son of a bitch. Oh God. I think I've showed these on here before. Oh man, see this damn. Got to put the under the beard. Little you know, they kind of look like challenge coins, but they're not. They're not coins. They are say Leaf and Barrel on them, and they they have like a little rim under here so that they go on when you're doing whiskey tastings. Keeps your whiskey from fuming out on you, and it keeps the fumes in there. So when you're giving it a good sniff, it's a little easier. I think that's the closest thing coming. There's a bunch of shit in the pipeline, but I think it's probably more than we got a man card version 2, all kinds of stuff. But those I think will be the next things we drop. I think there's something else, but I can't think of it right now. Video wise, I got a couple videos coming out. Speaking of the YouTube, I've actually got a video coming out soon about why I started my YouTube channel and how I became a full-time YouTuber, basically. That'll probably be the next one. And then I've got a collaboration with Scotch Malt Whiskey where I'm going to go over coming from a bourbon guy's perspective, why guys that are into bourbon should try Scotch and the joys of a good Scotch.
Wow, that should be a collaboration video.
Dude,
here we are.
It's a thing, man. Cause I think a lot of guys that are I was guilty of it. I think a lot of guys that are big into bourbon kind of poo-poo Scotch, and vice versa for that matter. Guys that are into Scotch poo-poo bourbon. And I think both have a lot to offer, and should be explored if you're into whiskey. So anyway, those are the next 2 videos coming out.
For me, no drops coming up soon. I really need to get those shirts. I have these new designs that I've been sitting on for months for no reason. Need to drop those. Keep your eyes out. I think they're really cool. I think you're going to like them. They remind me more of like old school skateboard graphics. You said that too, but that's why I liked them originally. So those are going to be really, really nice. I'm excited for those. So keep your eyes out for new merch. But for videos, I have this Civivi video, which technically is a little outdated, but I think you guys are going to like it because I kind of break down a lot of stuff that you may not know. There were some knives in this collection that I really was surprised by, like a really small knife that fits the hand well, and I really like. But Civivi, and then next week, most likely, will be me putting suspension on the Land Rover because it came in today. I was going to put it on tomorrow and hopefully have a video Friday, but it's supposed to be horrible weather here tomorrow. So no suspension going on tomorrow, probably not over the weekend. I'd love to do it over the weekend, but probably not likely. So that'll happen sometime next week. And I think that's it that I really have actually planned out.
I forgot the one thing. I wasn't going to mention it because honestly, I think the Patreons will probably gobble these up and they probably won't even get released to the general public. I always release stuff that's limited to the Patreons first. And then if there's stuff left, it gets released. I had these, and I'm going to give away a couple on the podcast. I was going to do it last week, and then I had to take some pictures and stuff, and it's gotten pushed, of course, because I always run late on everything. But I'm keeping 2 back for us to do giveaways on with the podcast. But I think I've only got a handful of them. I do not have a lot of them. But they were extras that we had from when we did the man card version 1, and I forced patinaed them. Right. So I don't know if you guys remember what the man card looked like, but these are all patinaed up and they've got all this, see all the green and stuff. I don't know if it's coming across, but it's really green in a lot of these. That's
basically he says he forced patinaed them. All he did was send it to me and I rubbed my wrist on it.
Right. I forced patinaed these with like an ammonia vapor chamber and stuff. And then I polished some of the stuff off on the high points to kind of, because it's a little too strong at the time. Anyway, we are going to drop those at some point. Like I said, there's only a few of them, so they may not get released to the general public. But if you're in my Patreon, you'll get a chance to grab up those, and we'll be doing a couple giveaways on the podcast also.
Sick. All right. Well, thank you.
It was your idea.
It was, man.
It wasn't your idea to patina them, but it was your idea to call them the man card of liberty because of the green. It's pretty funny, I thought.
It's true. All right. Well, thank you guys once again for hanging out with us for over 3 hours. Mm-hmm. We will be back next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Much to the chagrin of Jeremy Sayers. Mm-hmm. Be sure to follow us on all the places. It's all linked down below in the show notes. And we will see you guys 1 week from today.
1 week. Next. It's not the last. No. Yes. 1 week. from today. I love to gobble cock.
See you guys.
Why you got to finish